Hey everybody, nobody's here yet. I started early, so I'm just going to vamp. And if you're watching this later on, you're probably skipping the 2-minute timer at the front. So, this is one of those wonderful instances when I'm just talking to myself now and into the future. Hey, we got Malik in the chat. Okay, Malik with the first comment of the day. Cool. All right, so people are coming in. I'm just letting you know the usual stuff, man. Go to CanaryCry.Party. Check out all of the resources that we have for you. We got a lot of great stuff in the works as well, so keep an eye out for some new cool stuff. Supply droppers out there, what's up? Supply drops are dropping, baby. They're arriving in mailboxes. There's excitement building across the land as the Canary Cry supply drops are arriving. If you don't know what that is, you should head to CanaryCry.Supply.com. Check it out. If you produce the show for $33 a month, you'll start receiving free supply drops throughout the year. The first one just landed, chock-a-block full of cool stuff, and the stuff is just going to keep on getting cooler, baby. We are running a promotion from now until the end of May, where if you missed out on the first supply drop, if you sign up to receive supply drops from now on, we're going to send you one of the items that was exclusive in this first supply drop. It's the Canary Cry Multidimensional Communications Codex. It's an ARG, augmented reality game, where you can play along. It's a podcast companion game, and it's super cool. Collect the clues throughout the podcast, decipher the code, and become a Canary Cry multidimensional comms operative. It's fun. I'm having fun. So if you want to have fun too, go to CanaryCry.Supply.com and sign up. You'll get it delivered straight to your door. All right, folks, let's get the show started. Whee!
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. We are live to tape April 22nd, 2022. This is episode 475. And today, CERNNN Plus. Oh yeah, razzle dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events on this Flat Earth Day. We must preserve the dome. We must preserve the
Hollow Earth. This is the day us Hollow Earthers remember the great war of the insiders and the outsiders, where Admiral Byrd flew his heroic mission to launch the nuclear weapon into the center sun at the core of the Hollow Earth.
Yeah, it was depicted by Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. It was the depiction of what Admiral Byrd did at the Hollow Earth.
Also,
entrance.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Star Wars blowing up the Death Star was an allegory.
Yes.
It was an allegory for the great Hollow Earth Wars. Well, folks, thanks for being here. We got a great show today. If you want to know what you're getting into, of course, we got some small updates on Ukraine, China now getting in on the game, some CRISPR updates, FLIPPY's coming at you, CERN. It's been a while since there's been CERN news, but it's coming at you. Of course, Shillzilla's got some things for us. COVID politics. Disney is in trouble, baby. And then, of course, at the end of the show, it's back. Antarctica. But for now, we're going to start out with our lead stories.
Fight for Ukraine. New world order.
Reuters.
Want to just roll the clip?
Roll the clip. Biden and, Reuters.
President Joe Biden pledged an additional $800 million in more weaponry for Ukraine on Thursday.
In more weaponry. $800 million in more weaponry.
And that's the key, in more weaponry. And I think this is being reported so specifically because Americans are starting to question why we're sending so much money. I mean, this is like the, third or fourth round of $800 million we've sent over there. I mean,
I thought it was in the billions before.
We are certainly in the billions. We've given many rounds of extremely large amounts of money. But this is an interesting thing to keep in mind, which is that we're not always necessarily sending cash. I think we send some cash, but it's mostly done in supplies, and not just any supplies, but weaponry, American weaponry. And this has caused, a lot of interesting analysis as to how involved are we, how culpable are we for the actions of, anyone in this war, which is very culpable, obviously, on both sides. But this was kind of the first time that it was explicitly reported that I saw that this $800 million is more of a, it's more of a symbol, and that it's a symbol of weapons that we're sending over. Now, the weapons we're sending over are not brand new, shiny weapons, missiles, guns, artillery, things like this.
What? We're not sending our best.
No, this is not fresh off the line,
President Z demands the best.
Oh, he demands. He can demand all he wants, but what he's getting is sort of the bargain bucket, the thrift store of American military equipment. So we are sending basically surplus, military surplus weapons we're not using, older weapons that we, the taxpayers, have paid for a while now, every year, more and more.
Is this kind of like how we send a whole bunch of unused vaccines to Africa?
Yeah, our trash vaccines. Yeah. The vaccines nobody wants, the vaccines that aren't even approved, they don't want method. Them. Right, same thing. And so we get to look like these great sort of, war-fighting philanthropists or whatever it is we're trying to look like. But really, we're just emptying out the inventory of old weapons and stuff like that. And you might think, well, that's fine. It's old weapons. We don't need it. It's whatever. But again, from the beginning, you got to remember, and we said this back in this was part of my long ranting analysis back in August during the pullout in Afghanistan, which is, this is not about people. This is not about ending a war. This is not about nothing. This is about pivoting. It is a military industrial complex profit-making pivot. Afghanistan, no longer was living up to its most efficient profitability as far as creating weapons, keeping a 20-year profit machine going for the military industrial complex, the defense contractors, the weapons manufacturers, et cetera, et cetera. And I almost called it to the day. I said, in October, I'll give this, I think I said 4 months until we're in another war, because it's just how America works.
Yeah. You can't this is not in a war.
It's not. It's not like an unfortunate side effect. It's not lobbying gone wrong. It is literally the center. It is at the center of the economic sort of solar system of the U.S. is we must be at war, or else the whole system breaks down.
It's the business we're in. We are in business. The war business is what the American US is in.
Exactly. The American corporation only exists because of war. Now, of course, pretty much right on the dot, we got into this Ukraine situation, and we start sending off surplus weapons. Mm-hmm. So, but here's the thing. The U.S. still needs weapons. We can't not have weapons. We're sending over $800 million worth of surplus weapons, clearing out our inventory. Remember, we left a couple $1 billion worth of weapons and vehicles in Afghanistan. That needed to be replaced. Mm-hmm. So the military-industrial complex got to get to work manufacturing, replacing those weapons. And when Biden says $800 million in weapons are getting sent to Ukraine, what he's actually saying is $800 million, dear taxpayer, that we are now going to spend on more
anti-gravity
new
lasers.
New
That's what
shiny,
he should say if he really wants to grab the attention of American people.
Yeah, new space lasers.
Yeah.
So that $800 million, that is not just us being nice to Ukraine. That is us clearing out the bargain basement, making room.
It's a financial decision.
That $800 million is going to come straight from our pockets and straight into the pockets of the military-industrial complex. We're talking Boeing, Raytheon, Halliburton, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And this is just how the whole thing works. Yeah. So in that, you got to remember, every piece of news about Ukraine, every mainstream news, inflammatory, patriotic rallying cry of doing good in the world, policing the world, and stopping genocide is really just a marketing pitch to the American people that, hey, we got to spend more money. But don't worry, we'll send them our old weapons, and we get to buy some new shiny ones. So it's tax season, folks, and thank you from the U.S. military and its contractors.
I love the fact that a 9-second clip from Reuters triggered a solid 5 minutes of rant from you. The ratio is good. We gotta keep that in mind.
That's the beauty of this show. It's generative. We can take a 9-second clip of just some fun news from the Biden administration and turn it into what I think is a valuable reminder about exactly what business we are in the U.S. and exactly where our tax dollars go. So keep an eye out for some shiny new space lasers.
Yep. Something else here is that Forbes is helping us understand that President Zelensky is not a billionaire. So how much is he worth?
Oh, yeah. Was this something that people were saying?
Not anybody I know, but apparently,
I guess
according
I
to
heard the rumor, but
a popular internet meme currently making the rounds claims without evidence that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is worth $1.4 billion. Quote, more than Will Smith, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle combined.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. The collection of highly successful black entertainers in the West somehow has something to do with that. The insinuation is clear.
Interesting how they did they only named
black entertainers.
Black entertainers, but also great SEO on that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Get the Will Smith, you get the Chris Rock, you get those Google search results.
Dave Chappelle, yep. For Zelensky, a former comedian, to have accumulated a fortune of this size, there must be corruption involved. And while this claim has been parroted by its fair share of anonymous Twitter eggs, a number of blue checks have gotten in on the action.
Oh,
the action,
surprise,
baby.
Surprise.
Lee Stranahan, an American host on Kremlin-owned and controlled Radio Sputnik, featured in the Oliver Stone documentary Revealing Ukraine, tweeted to his nearly 100,000 followers, quote, why is Zelensky a billionaire? Forbes' answer, he's not. Oh, good. Oh. I'm glad he's not a billionaire. The Russian invasion has hit Ukraine's billionaires hard. According to Forbes' 36th annual World's Billionaires list, there are only 7 left in the country, and Zelensky is not one of them, nor is former president and chocolate magnate Petro Poroshenko, who dropped from the rankings this year. But unlike his predecessor, Zelensky never was a billionaire. He's currently worth roughly $20 million based on reporting by Forbes Ukraine. Yeah. Additional reporting by Forbes US puts that number at less than $30 million.
Oh.
So, I mean, okay, I'm just going to stop there.
He's Ukraine's most popular comedian.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
it's just funny how they're like, oh, we're debunking the site. He's not a billionaire. This is fake news. Right. He's just a multimillionaire. Don't pay attention to how much money he does make. Just pay attention. He's not a billionaire.
You point out a good fact, and we can move on after this, which is, it's at the core, at the fact checking industry is, we fact check, We fact checked.
Careful.
Facts.
Susan's on us right now. You're shaming the overweight.
No. I'm just saying we check facts, but the sort of the implication or the spiritual fact or whatever still remains the same.
Right.
Whether he has $1 million or not is not the point.
Right, it's not the
Somebody
point.
pointing that out is saying he's an incredibly rich man, and what does that mean? How
does that affect our understanding of him or his,
right?
And
how does it color what he says or who he is or what? And so whether he has 20 million or $1 billion, the sort of spiritual or cognitive problems of him being incredibly rich are still there. But thank you, Forbes.
And the dollar amount doesn't really matter when it comes to the context of like influence of his words over the world, or at least the West.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a little more challenging to put like a price on. It's like his net worth isn't going to dictate, how much influence he has in the media center stage, Ukrainian conflict.
But I did not see the what is it, the Roger Stone documentary?
I did not see it either.
I didn't see it, so I don't know exactly what the implication is there.
Roger Stone?
What was it? Who was the person who made it? Didn't you say Roger Stone?
Oliver Stone.
Oliver. Oh, yeah. Duh. That was my bad.
But Roger Stone, that would be intense. That's really getting into some siding with some of the insiders from the Alex Jones side of things. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's Ukraine for you. In the meantime,
Welcome to Chinese News! Our top news!
we've seen North Korea flex. We've seen Russia flex. Now it's China.
Ooh.
International Business Times, China shows off new carrier killer missile. YJ-21 can keep U.S. ships away from Taiwan. And it says here,
Carrier killer. That sounds fun.
China has released a video showing the test fire of a mysterious missile thought to be hypersonic YJ-21 from one of its huge Type 055 destroyers. And military analysts believe the rare and daring show of power is a warning to the U.S. and its allies to keep away from Taiwan. The footage, which went viral on Chinese social media, showed the weapon being, quote, cold launched and then boosted into the air. The payload has a long, conical-like shape with small fins at its base, reported The Drive.
I like that. Like a missile.
A rocket or a
it's
missile.
A missile. It's a rocket. You've ever seen a rocket before? That's what it looks like.
While there is no official confirmation about the weapon used, defense analysts like H.I. Sutton believe the missile is a YJ-21 or Eagle Strike 21 hypersonic missile, which can be carried by ships or warplanes. According to Sutton, the missile is dubbed, quote, aircraft carrier killer, due to its massive hitting power. The report by the U.S. Department of Defense mentioned that China may put anti-ship ballistic missiles on its new cruisers. The YJ-21s, or the YJ-21S, is estimated to have a range between 1,000 to 1,500 kilometers, that's 600 to 930 miles, and its deployment on the Type 055 destroyer makes the PLA Navy cruiser arguably the most heavily armed surface combatant in the world. However, the missile seems to have used a, quote, thinner, more elongated, conical shape maneuvering entry vehicle compared to the one found on the YJ-21. End quote. And experts believe the design is modified to fit inside the tight confines of the ship's vertical launch system cells. The Type 055 has 112 vertical launch cells and is a multi-pole warship with air defense, anti-missile, anti-ship, and anti-submarine weapons. Ugh, this thing is gnarly. I thought this was interesting. This is the first time China has released such footage. According to Beijing-based naval analyst Li Jie, arming Type 055S with YJ-21 missiles was intended to deter foreign ships from getting involved in the event of an attack on Taiwan. Quote, the matching of Type 55 and YJ-21 missile was designed for anti-access and area denial to counter America's maritime hegemony in the region, Li told South China Morning Post. That's right, South China Morning Post, which is owned by the Alibaba Group and Jack Ma. There you go. Zhu Chenning, a researcher from the Yuan Wang Military Science and Technology think tank in Beijing, agrees. He thinks the unprecedented demonstration is aimed at warning both Washington and Taipei that the PLA has many options for anti-access and area denial strategy. Quote, Beijing is worrying that the unlimited U.S. military assistance to Ukraine and a recent American congressional group tour to Taiwan might make Taipei believe Washington may provide the same help in the event of a conflict between the mainland and Taiwan, Zhao said. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we know, I mean, a lot of people noticed the parallels between what's taking place in Ukraine with Russia and what could take place with Taiwan and China. So it's very interesting that, and there's different, obviously much different circumstances with the maritime sort of warship type of situation. But yeah, kind of interesting.
You know what I think is fun? We, remember when we delayed a nuclear test at the early onset of the Ukraine conflict? We had a nuclear test planned, and we said, "Oh, let's not do that. We don't want to make Putin mad."
Right.
Okay. Uh-huh. And I don't know. There's some like back and forth on whether that was good or bad. I mean, that there was some criticism to the Biden administration about, you don't want to anger Putin, or you don't want to scare Putin. That's kind of a weird way to go about it. You're just sort of trying to be nice to him in hopes that he doesn't start a war or something. And I mean, look how far that's got us. That's gone great. And at the same time, there was another side of that argument of like, no, he knows. Like everybody knows these tests go on, that they're sort of planned months in advance, sometimes even years in advance. And I don't know why you wouldn't test. They ended up testing it anyways. Like a week later, they set off the bomb or something.
When the news cycle, came off of. The focus came off of them. They're like, right, let's just go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's interesting that they're so keen, at least on reporting in the news, that like, this is a warning. China is talking to us. Watch out. Don't get your carriers close to our island or whatever.
You know what this could be too, because it's, the footage. They saw North Korea, Kim Jong's recent mini docu-drama about his missile, and China was like, okay, all right, Kim Jong, watch this. And he
hold my sake.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. I think more and more part of this is there's a really significant trend recently of
military flex. It's like old school military flex of nations. It's really interesting. Wars and rumors of wars.
Right, especially in the mainstream U.S. corporate news.
Yeah,
it's like,
big time.
Oh, Russia's got this big new weapon. They can shoot the U.S. and there's nothing we can do about it. Hypersonic missiles. Oh, North Korea, they've got nukes. They could get us at any moment. Look how cool they are. But and then now with China, woo, fancy new thing. But when it comes to the U.S., we're not testing any cool weapons and putting it out there. Why aren't we playing the game? I don't know. There's just something weird going on.
Oh, because we got all the anti-gravity crafts, Once we unleash the anti-gravity, I mean, can you imagine Biden?
Show it off, Biden.
UFO. He's the guy, to reveal everything.
Show us the space laser, Biden.
He's been tired at press conferences because they keep plugging his brain right into that craft, the UFO craft.
It's just there's a lot of thought going into it. There's something happening in the background, and I don't know what it
100%.
is. But the behavior of our quote unquote adversaries. I mean, and what do we know? This could actually all be completely fake too.
Oh, 100%. Yes, this is lying to the American public or the Western public is legal now. So
it's part of the whole there construct. Would be no way for us to know if this is true or not. And I think it's hilarious that it's like the source is Chinese social media saw a video and now they have a big cool
it went
new
viral
missile.
Oh, you mean the completely controlled CCP internet over there? It went viral over there. Okay.
Viral doesn't exist. It's just it's a button that Xi Jinping has. He clicks it and then things go viral.
It forces everybody's device to watch the propaganda piece. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if none of these countries actually have functioning weapons like this. I'm not saying that I don't think they do. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if it was entirely fabricated by the U.S. news media to justify Biden, sending off all of our weapons.
Right.
Speaking of China, we got some other things to check in on.
More China.
Chinese news! You can't take the CRISPR. You can't take the CRISPR. Cas9.
That's right. It's a little CRISPR update. Been a while, huh, folks? And we've got an update on one of our good friends here at the show who we've been, keeping track of for years.
Be careful when you say good friend. We don't know him personally. We do have actual good friends that we know personally in the world.
Yeah, he's a good friend, kind of like how Chris Shilzilla is a good friend.
Okay, I see.
That's what I mean.
All right.
This is coming from NewsRelease.in, India, probably. CRISPR scientist who changed 3 babies' genes gets out of jail in China. The dangers of this technology. Chinese scientist He Huinkui presents his work at the II International Summit. What is that supposed to be?
I think that's the text to the picture or something. What is going on with this article? This is weird.
There's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, here it is.
Translation thing, yeah.
In November 2020, so there's some translation issues going on here, by the way. In November 2020, broke the news that the Chinese biophysicist He Huinkui had done genetic editing on human embryos with the CRISPR technique, pronounced CRISPR. The technique is based on a molecular system of defense of some bacteria against the invasion of viruses that allows cutting and pasting with unprecedented precision any type of DNA, including human. The scientists that had implanted 2 genetically modified human embryos in the uterus of a pregnant woman and a third in another pregnant woman, 2 twin girls, were already born. The following year, the 3rd child was born, and a Chinese court sentenced He Huinkui to 3 years in prison. He was released this month. The scientist's actions have drawn international condemnation. The sentencing court said he deliberately violated Chinese medical standards and that he unscrupulously applied gene editing technology in assisted human reproduction medicine. According to the magazine MIT Technology Review, which he revealed the CRISPR Babies project. He Huinkui answered the phone earlier this month, but stated that, quote, it is not convenient to talk about it at the moment.
What?
Yeah, that's what happens when you call him during dinner, man. You got to call him when he's on his break. The scientist is described by acquaintances as idealistic, naive, and ambitious.
There must be a cultural, sorts of cultural barriers, or not barriers, but like misinterpretation. I mean, naive.
Just the direct translations here are just turning out kind of funny.
Right.
He studied at the American University of Rice and Stanford. After the MIT website leaked in November 2018, he took to YouTube to announce the birth of the twins, Nana Ilulu in English. The experiments on the human embryos that led to 3 genetically modified children were made at the Southern University of Science and Technology in Shenzhen City. The intention was to introduce a mutation in the CCR5 gene. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Canary Cry Radio 5 gene?
Yeah.
Into the
I love
embryos.
that we show up in the story. It's like, man, stop using our stuff.
Messing up our SEO. Which encodes a protein on the surface of defense cells that HIV uses in its infection. The twins' father is HIV positive. About 10% of Northern Europeans carry a natural mutation in the gene called Delta 32. So close,
yeah.
Yeah. Which confers resistance to some strains of HIV in homozygotes with copies of the mutation on both chromosomes, and more latency in the progression of AIDS in heterozygotes with a single copy of the mutation. And it goes on, kind of does more and more explanation there. Kind of a dense article, especially with the translation issues. But long story short, we've followed this man from start to finish of his sort of abomination of an experiment.
Yeah.
And it, again, I think it's interesting now, 3 years later, with the trends and the connections between HIV and the big pharma companies, the mRNA technology working on a vaccine for HIV popping up in some examinations of COVID-19.
Yeah.
At least, I don't know.
Testing positive.
Right. The Australian study especially had a bunch of COVID vaccine recipients testing positive for HIV, which was, they didn't have HIV according to the studies. It's just some weird, I don't know, thing.
In the thing.
Yes, a glitch in the code. And he spent his time in jail, and now he's out. Hey, he's on the loose, man.
It's interesting. Before he went to jail, it was before the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Interesting timing. It's like, hey, look, go reprogram yourself for a little bit. We got some business to handle out here, and then when you can come out and you can be the face of responsible genetic editing. Yeah.
Well, it is interesting because of the sort of genetic connections, the gene therapy connections with certain pharmaceuticals now. What he was doing before, of course, was sort of condemned internationally, messing with the human genome, actually letting these embryos go to term and the children to be born with these mutations or edits, I guess. And now, in a way, one might consider that there are like mandates for gene editing across the world.
Yeah.
So
this is pretty classic in any issue throughout history. There's always been like one guy or group of people that sort of breaks the rule or crosses the line, and then regulation and all kinds of stuff gets created from that, whatever violation or whatever it may be. So
right. And you know what? I think they let him out early. He seems to have been let out early.
I was going to say, this is
2020 and got out in 2022. He didn't serve a full 3 years. And I wonder, because he even quoted, now this was years ago, so this is not a perfect quote, but I remember covering him extensively. And he was making speeches and had a bunch of quotes about like, you think I'm a criminal now. You think I stepped over the line, but soon there will be statues to me, and I will be the father of future human gene editing, and I will be, he had kind of this crazy complex about his work. And here we are. They let him out early, and the world is much more familiar and intimately, familiar with at least gene editing adjacent techniques. This is mandated in some places. Yeah. And I think he might be feeling pretty good about this.
I think he's part of the disclosure process for a lot more that's going on, not just in China, but around the world. And we have always said this, that whatever we hear about, that's like the tip of the iceberg. What's really going on is probably much more abominable, especially to just regular people. If they heard about what, they probably wouldn't even think it's true. Some of the genetic experiments that have probably happened in the last century, really, when the technology became available to us. So,
I wonder if part of him getting out, now there's lots of reasons why he could have gotten out early, but I wonder if there's been some sort of policy change or rule change in China, which is like, it's like when with all the marijuana offenders in the U.S., like a bunch of them got let out when recreational marijuana became legal. Now a bunch of them didn't, but there was a bunch that did. Right.
So,
anyways,
just to kind of piggyback on this story, this is from phys.org. Won't get into the details, but the headline here is Nanocapsule carrying a CRISPR-Cas9 editing tool used for non-invasive brain delivery and tumor cell targeting. So, apparently there's some nanocapsules that's capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier to carry CRISPR-Cas9 editing tool to treat a brain tumor.
Straight to the brain.
Straight to the brain. They're calling it non-invasive, which is like, okay.
Well, it's probably like a pill or something, or an injection. And then the little nanobots just go digging through the brain. Love it.
Yeah, the shell of the nanocapsule was created using a disulfide, I'm probably saying that wrong, cross-linked polymer that was then dotted with an angiopep-2 peptide. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, it's pretty detailed, but
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what's funny too? We reported, oh man, there was one story like 2 or 3 months ago that had to do with the how CRISPR was maybe not as effective as we were hoping for. There's lots of backlash. It was kind of like negative press on CRISPR, but that seemed to have been just a small phase. It was just interesting how
it was.
They went right back to like CRISPR and everything, including these nanocapsules for your brain now. So there you go.
Well, I think it connected too much to the big pharma. They had to change.
They're
public
like,
opinion,
slow down. We haven't
don't
rolled
be
out
so
the full
negative
CRISPR.
about genetic tampering.
Yeah, we still have a lot of people invested in the CRISPR companies. We need them to make money.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go, Gonz. And Gonz, I got some great news for you, buddy.
What's that?
It's Friday.
It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, there you go. We can keep playing with the Friday thing.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
Gonna learn today. 'Cause it's Friday. You ain't got no job. And you ain't got
Every day is Friday, Gonz. Yeah, wow, we made it. We made it through another week. No nuclear war, no World War III yet. It's very exciting. Any interesting things happening in Gonz world?
No. Although I will say this, I discovered with more clarity that all of the videos from the Facelikethesun YouTube channel that is now dead on YouTube was preserved or archived on the Facelikethesun Odyssey channel. So it's all there except for a few videos. Like it's whatever. I'll figure out how to fill the gaps.
That is great news. That is great news, especially since I, for some reason, have become the point person for people asking where Facelikethesun went.
Yeah, I just did a thing on Odyssey where I toggled the oldest first, and yeah, it's got the very first video I published on the channel, which was the truth behind ghost hunting.
Wow.
10 years ago. Yeah. And it's funny because these videos have like 4 views, 3 views, because it's all just kind of an archive. Yeah, Odyssey.
Why don't you go ahead and pop that link into the chat? I know people would love to have access to that. And another reason to start exploring other platforms besides YouTube, folks. I know that they've been there for you for so long, but if you want to get all the Facelikethesun channel, old school, man. Old school Facelikethesun. Go to Odyssey. It's all there. And with that, I don't really. Let me think. No. Nothing interesting.
Other than life is hard.
Life just keeps on going, doesn't it? Blessed. Hashtag blessed to still be alive here on Friday. Looking forward to the weekends. Hoping to get to the skate rink on Sunday, but we will find out on Monday whether that happened or not. And with that, Gonz, I would like to take a second and thank some of our executive producers.
Oh yes. Sorry. I was doing.
No, that's okay. Save it for a second because I want to take a second and to let everybody know when I say executive producers, that's a real title. It's a real thing. It's not a gimmick. It's not a, I don't know, just a fun game we play on the show or whatever. It's because we're on the value for value model. We are entirely produced by we, the producers. That's right. And in this age where the mainstream corporate news media is doing their best. I mean, they're doing their job. Their job is to control the flow of information for the interests of the powerful and not for the people. And we are unfortunately subject to it each and every day. And that's part of the reason we do this show is to try to destroy the illusion, break through the membrane that is created between us and the world around us by those who control our information and the information flow. It's our I've legitimately become passionate about it now. I mean, I've always, I guess, been passionate about it, but it was in the past couple of years, it's just been like, wow, this is for me personally, in my life at this point, this is the most important thing I can be doing. It just affects everything and everyone. And I'm so happy to be able to do it. And we're only able to do it because of the support of our producers who recognize that independent media is not a given. Independent media, not just news on YouTube or podcasts or whatever. I'm talking about independent media completely separated from the corporate financial structure because we have no advertisements, no affiliate codes. We're not partnered with any platforms, which you'd be surprised how common that is.
I heard, just to your point real quick.
Sure.
I heard Adam Curry, who is the creator of the value for value model. He was talking about how you can't monetize a network. Mm-hmm. And that, to your point, when you try to kind of get together and we're all going to make money, and no, it never works out. The top whatever takes most of it, and everybody else on the network kind of gets,
They get what they get.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't throw a fit, or they do. And the point is that if a quote unquote independent media outlet takes corporate money, we believe that is not independent. If you are relying on the evil lizard people overlords and the sort of corrupt corporate structure that is headed up by financial elites that have no interest in the well-being of actual people and are literally legally required to do the most profitable thing. They couldn't even do what's best for people if they wanted to. They are fiduciarily responsible to make as much money for their shareholders or stakeholders as possible. And it's super easy, especially when you're a show with as much listeners as we do, especially on the RSS feed. It's super easy to just get some advertisers and start taking corporate money and get addicted to the corporate money. And what's addicting about it is, you just read some copy, you commoditize the minds and the trust and the attention of your listeners. And you just kind of have to forget that they're human beings who have quality of life that they're trying to uphold and fears and loves and things like that. As long as you can ignore the humanity of your listeners, taking corporate money is super easy. But we decided that that's not for us. That's not what we're going to do. So we're on the value for value model, which means we are entirely funded by listeners of the show who become producers of the show. And that's exactly what they are. You can put it on your resume. You can put it on your LinkedIn, whatever you want. Or you can get it tattooed on your on a watermelon. Don't put it on your body. You don't need that on there. But, tattoo people, they practice on watermelons, and you might as well practice by writing out your producer name.
Put it on a watermelon.
More than anything.
That's Joe. I don't know why Joe jumped in, but I think...
Oh, that was Whispering Joe.
Yeah. I think we're
all right. Well, we have executive producers, and we want to give them a shout out right here at the top of the show. Gonz, are you ready?
Executive producers.
That's right. These are the ones, the producers, who have made the decision to join the revolution and fund independent media to the best of their ability, to the best of their generosity, and it means so much to us. And the first executive producer that we want to thank today is executive producer Lacey F.
Thank you, Lacey F.
Indeed. Next up, we have executive producer Sarah L.
Sarah L. Thank you very much.
And last but not least, we have executive producer Paul G.
Paul George?
Giamatti.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
NBA basketball player Paul George?
These are the producers who are at the top of the list of the people that you must thank today or thank God for. And because we sure do. Executive producers Lacey F., Sarah L., and Paul G. Thank you so much. We'll be reading your notes and talking more about how wonderful you are in our first break.
Where'd you find this?
Bankroll out the bankroll, I spend.
That's right. And you know what? Speaking of, good friends of the show, time to check in on Flippy.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Uh-huh. Now, Flippy, if you don't know, is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and just how there's nothing we can do about it. This one's for the OGs, the OG Canary Cry folks. This is going to be very important to you. This is coming from news.yahoo.com. It is being mirrored from... I don't know, Autoblog. Yeah. And this, the headline is Autonomous Worm Hunting Robot.
Oh, no.
For farmers. Ooh. Insight Track created a tracked autonomous bot that locates and shoots down worm-infected almonds.
Oh, no.
I know. And created to improve tree health and increase tree harvesting. Yeah, that's what they tell you.
What's crazy? Okay, hold on. The video, there's a video at the top of the article that I'm showing to the people watching here. And it shows, the robot roll out kind of onto the field there. And it goes first person view of the robot, and it's it's got like a HUD thing zooming in on their target and like shooting down the walnuts. This is just one step. They're using headshot technology here.
Oh, bro, thank you. You got it. The thing continues. After harvest, almonds that remain on trees are called mummies, which can attract pests, and patent pending rover is designed to seek mummies autonomously. And shoot them down using earth-friendly biodegradable pellets. Oh, good. We've got a green robot assassin here. The system is used for winter sanitation to prep the budding season. Insight Track can operate 24/7 through an orchard, identifying and tracking trees, and can provide farmers with data to optimize their tree profitability. All in the name of profit, Gonz. The Killbot Robo Assassin is all in the name of profitability. Insight Track is currently focusing on almond growers. I would think that they're focusing on almonds. They shouldn't focus their guns on almond growers. With plans to expand to other industries. And that's the scary part, Gonz. What other industries?
Yeah, this
Could it perhaps be a war-fighting industry?
I was going to say that how do you think this is in the family, and then this is just some young Gen Z taking over the company? Like, we gotta upgrade, keep up with the times, time to roll out the robots.
No, they're just waiting for the moment when Ukraine calls and says we need some autonomous killbots. Now, in the Flippy update, we've explored the concept of killbots, which are just literally deadly robots that have a sole mission of killing things, sometimes human beings if you're on the border of Tibet and China, and sometimes almonds if you're in the wrong orchard. But I thought it was interesting, Gonz, because, of course, the legendary wormicorn has been a part of Canary Cry lore for years now. And we know we've got wormicorns on the moon. We don't know exactly when they are planning to, protect Earth or not or whatever. But I find this very threatening, Gonz.
Yeah.
As the elites
maybe a
know,
direct threat to us. Specifically.
I mean, who knows? Wormicorn is sort of our unofficial mascot. So
it's not a bird. It's the thing the bird eats.
No, that's the official mascot. The wormicorn is the unofficial mascot.
I see.
Yeah, it's the sort of the fans mascot. And so, yeah, I find it very threatening that there is, a robot roving around specifically trained to shoot worms autonomously. And this is really only one step away. I mean, this is basically a autonomous street patrol robot. And all you got to do is, replace its targeting protocols from worms to, I don't know, malcontents, infected people, unvaccinated. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. And instead of loading up their biodegradable green Greta bullets or whatever, get some live ammo in there. Biden needs to clear out the inventory so our tax dollars can buy more bullets. We might as well give them to these robots. I find it very threatening, and if anybody sees one of these robots, let me know. We must neutralize it immediately.
With where things are headed. I can see these robots being, instead of just shooting biodegradable pellets, they'll just shoot a needle. Just shoot them in the little kid's arms, that Bill Gates talks about.
Gates bot.
Yeah, the Bill Gates shot back.
Yeah. And of course, this Flippy seems harmless. It's for farming. It's for almonds. But really, if you think about we've talked about these robots not so much as individual products, but platforms. That's how the creators consider them. They're platforms that can be sort of modularized. You take out the pellet shooter, you put in some other kind of shooter. You take out the almond module, you put in the unvaccinated module, whatever. And so really, we're having fun here. It seems harmless. We might be having some fun, maybe alarmizing this whole thing. But when you consider it a platform, as the creators do, as roboticists do, the technology is dialed in for roaming the streets, seeking whatever its target is, and autonomously eliminating them, which should be of some concern.
Yeah. It's okay now, and it'll be fine probably for a little while. You got trash picking up robots or something. It's like, okay.
But as we've seen in the war in Ukraine, where previously harmless technologies are being adapted for war-fighting capabilities, this is ripe for repurposing for whatever other mechanisms that it's needed for. So there you go. There's your Flippy update for the day. They might be infiltrating with affection, but they will be eliminating with prejudice.
Yeah, maybe they'll go partying. Because if they do, they could go to CanaryCry.Party.
Okay.
Find the live stream, clips, email list, text notifications, street team posters, show notes, ways to connect with other Canarians, and how to become a producer.
Welcome to CanaryCry.Party. It's the place you wanna be. So stay. Welcome to CanaryCry. Gameplay, CanaryCry.Party.
Yeah, check it out. It's got everything you need. I'm realizing now, Gonz, that we need to put on CanaryCry.Party. We should put a link to Facelikethesun.
Do it.
We will do that. And also, we'll put a link to Ravel. Can't believe that's not there. Go check out my other podcast, Ravel. I do it with Dr. Christopher Ryan Gates, a very smart man, PhD in biblical interpretation. We explore society, scripture, and scandal. We're putting together such a lovely collection of episodes over there you guys are going to love. It is not a podcast for someone looking for Sunday morning sermons. This is not the podcast for you. But if you are into honestly exploring difficult things in good faith with good attitudes, this is the place for you. Sometimes we talk to scholars or lawyers or authors or artists. Sometimes we're talking to heretics and pastors and whatever. But it's all in good faith to really just let the Lord and the Holy Spirit and Jesus just get in there in the tough conversations and hopefully come out better the other side. Us come out better. So go check it out. Our Easter episode was wonderful. We've gotten a ton of great feedback. Thank you, everybody, for that. And coming up this Sunday in 2 days, so go subscribe to it, by the way, so you get the new episodes. In 2 days, we've got our Teen Bible Study our Teen Study Bible Study, where we revisit the Bibles of our youth, the Teen Study Bible and the Extreme Teen Study Bible, and talk about it. It's really funny.
Is it really called Extreme?
So there's two of them. In 1993, there was one called the Teen Study Bible, which I did not have, but Dr. Chris did. And in 1998, there was the Extreme Teen Study Bible.
That's funny.
Which was my sort of primary biblical text for a long time as a teen.
your what's the okay. So,
says a lot. Says a lot about this generation of Christians.
Yeah, your coming of age was extreme church.
Exactly.
Yeah, great.
So if you're a millennial, you're going to love to revisit the Extreme Teen Bible. If you're not a millennial, I think there's a lot of value into hearing what we have to say about it to get a window into what's going on. It's called Ravel. You can find it on podcast players. There are 2 Ravel podcasts. The other one explicitly stole our name on purpose and told us about it, which, okay, fine. But go listen to mine. It's got the cool logo and my name on it. Go check it out. CanaryCry.Clips channel on YouTube is also there. Go follow that. Excellent resource. All the little articles and clips. The whole show is broken down into bite-sized, shareable, careable clips. Very valuable for either sharing or revisiting topics from the show. CanaryCry.Clips channel on YouTube. Go subscribe to it, man. As well as on Odyssey, too. Subscribe to that. And last but not least, sign up for our text message alerts if you want to get alerts sent directly to your phone for when we go live, because it's very useful and you're probably not getting the notifications. So you can text the word Canary to 877-740-3226, Canary to 877-740-3226. Okie dokie, all done. Wow. Big news, Gonz.
Yahoo News mirroring The Hill. CERN scientists to restart Large Hadron Collider after 3-year hiatus.
Wow. So the same amount of time that Dr. He Jiankui was supposed to be in jail, they shut down CERN.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence?
And
probably.
Yeah, probably. And, the same amount of time as the pandemic. They got the memo that, hey, you guys shut it down for a couple years. We got some stuff in the works.
You released an interdimensional virus that has shut down the world. So please turn off the portal to the virus dimension. We'll tell you when you can fire it back up.
Scientists are preparing to reboot the largest and most powerful particle accelerator in the world this week. Also, the most expensive machine ever built by man, by the way. Seeking to use it to solve the mystery of dark matter. Or at least that's what they tell us. The Large Hadron Collider shut down in 2018, so scientists at the European Council for Nuclear Research, CERN, could improve and upgrade the accelerator in Geneva, Switzerland. The work was extended and delayed by the coronavirus pandemic. It was slowed it down, you see. And we're not isolated enough in the 27-mile underground ring apart from everybody. Had to shut it down, too.
Where you're probably already sort of wearing masks in a sanitary place.
Yeah. CERN expects to restart the LHC sometime between Friday and Sunday. Here we go. This weekend, we're going to unleash all kinds of new reality timelines.
It's like today or tomorrow it's firing.
They didn't give us a lot of warning here, which might have been part of the plan.
I do think the phrase in between Friday and Sunday is pretty funny. Like they didn't want to just say Saturday.
The LHC, which first launched in 2008, performed successfully for 2 previous runs. Its third run will operate for the next roughly 3 years before another pause for maintenance. CERN tweeted on Wednesday that restarting the LHC was getting, quote, closer and closer, and shared a video showcasing the improvements to the tech, including new parts and redesigned systems. The 16-mile-long accelerator is housed inside a CERN facility tunnel, about 328 feet underground. The LHC deploys superconducting magnets to boost particles through. 2 high-energy particle beams travel at close to the speed of light before they collide at 4 separate points. The LHC works to solve the standard model of particle physics, a theory describing the basic building blocks of the universe, including particles called quarks, which make up protons and neutrons.
Why are they not talking about the sort of like interdimensional demons and stuff like that?
This is for the public, you see. This is
I don't know. That has never stopped them before.
True. This topic is something that I was looking at for a while and more earnestly and documenting a lot of it in a series I did for the Facelikethesun channel called CERN Watch. And
Face Like the Sun channel you can find on Odyssey.
Yeah, you can find on Odyssey. And yes, I did find one of the first CERN Watch videos that I published on Face Like the Sun. According to Odyssey here, the video was published on March 5th, 2015. And that was a great thing. When I moved everything over to Odyssey, it preserved like the show notes or the description links and all that kind of stuff. So I can go back and find articles and stuff. But
that's great.
Just so people understand that, if you think that CERN, there's nothing, people overblow CERN, people talk about, it's just a bunch of conspiracy theorists saying nonsense about what they're doing. I mean, I think most people are aware that there's some, advanced science taking place at the very least, over there underground at CERN. But I want to recall an article from The Guardian published January 1st, 2013. And in that article, it said this, quote, "What you'd expect," this is quoting a physicist, "what you'd expect is that you reach the right energy. You suddenly see inside the extra dimensions, and gravity becomes big and strong instead of feeble and weak. The sudden extra pull of gravity would cause particles to scatter far more inside the machine, giving scientists a clear signal that extra dimensions were real." And then this is another quote from the same guy, Parker here, this physicist. "Extra dimensions may separate us from realms of space we are completely oblivious to." Quote, "There could be a whole universe full of galaxies and stars and civilizations and newspapers that we didn't know about," says Parker. Quote, "That would be a big deal." Yeah, no kidding. But this is the kind of stuff the CERN physicists were saying, 10 years ago. And so, of course, people like us are looking at it going, okay, what do you mean by that? What exactly are you talking about? And we documented a lot of stuff concerning the connections to the Tower of Babel, and how there was some stuff in the extra biblical book of Jasher that described the size of Babel back Genesis 10 days, and it's much bigger than just a tower. It's like a city kind of, And right. So, I related to, maybe there's something in connection to the size of the ring that it takes for some kind of particle accelerator and some ancient version of it. And, it's all speculation. It gets pretty crazy and wild and speculative, but there's some precedent there when you look at it. It's not all based on nonsensical ramblings of a crazy man on the internet. So, it's something to dig into and look at. Again, I think we should dust off some of the CERN Watch info to kind of brush up on what kind of stuff the mainstream was saying about CERN. And there was that really famous picture in more recent years. There was a scientist at CERN in his office. There's like papers everywhere and whatever. And he was holding up a piece of paper that says, "We are happy at CERN." And then around his neck, he's giving a thumbs up, and around his neck, he's got one sign that says Bond 1 and another sign that says Mandela, which obviously, people freaked out, said, "Oh, they're doing the Mandela effect." The whole Mandela effect is based on this thesis that CERN changed the timeline of our reality, which again is part of the cosmological narrative that the multiverse and Marvel and all that kind of stuff, they're all pumping out there. So, this is like the actual quote unquote science behind the sort of public
and they
propaganda.
Believe it too.
Oh, they totally believe it.
Yeah, it's not just it's just not nothing,
No.
The people like us keeping track and watching CERN are not the ones who are making up the fact that they are trying to reach other dimensions. They themselves talk about trying to reach, enter, communicate with. They talk about being like kind of afraid of entities like coming through and stuff, all in their own words. Yeah. Like you don't need to be a conspiracy theorist to get a little freaked out by it.
Yeah, and then at the same time, you have, I documented this as well. There was a show called Gravity Falls. I'm sure many of the people listening or watching might remember. There was and the connections to the occult and secret societies and stuff we talk about is just chock full in this show. Yeah. And there was an episode, I think it was towards the end of the entire season, where they find out that one of the main characters has this big portal underground, and they open, the books in the show have a hand on it with 6 fingers, like direct connection to the Nephilim in the book, in the Bible. And they open up a portal. This sort of brother of the main character, who's a Mason or like a whatever type, comes through the portal. He's got 6 fingers on his hands, and there's the triangle, all-seeing eye pyramid character. I mean, it's all there, It's just kind of like, okay, all right, what are you trying to tell us? Why are you guys opening up a portal to some other dimension, some other reality?
Sure. And the fun thing is, part of the reason why we even brought this story here is because the fun part is that the theories and some of the strange coincidences or things happening in the world kind of line up with whenever they fire CERN up. Whenever they start messing with this thing, that's when kind of weird stuff starts happening.
Well, I think 2015 to 2018 was the last time it was running. So that's like going into Trump.
Right. Trump. Which is basically right when the whole world went completely insane.
Yeah. So there you go.
Keep an eye out. I don't know when, sometime between today and Sunday, but if things start getting weird on Saturday, you know why.
Well, it's interesting too, because I remember throughout this whole CERN watch process, a lot of times when they would start firing it up and stuff, you wouldn't notice much, like in the day or whatever. There's usually, really nothing going on, not a lot of stories or whatever. And then like a few weeks later, something would happen and you'd be like, wait a minute. Does it have anything to do? So it was always people looking at.
You kind of make the connections in hindsight.
Right. You can't really figure out what's going on in the moment. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting, and a big deal in terms of a topic that we've been covering, because there seems to be some connection to some biblical level things with reaching heaven and that sort of thing. So.
And how could there not be?
And especially right now when, we're the whole world knows what, or not knows exactly what it is, but at least has this sort of a general idea of what a metaverse is or will be.
Right.
It would be too easy to be like, hey, we can create a metaverse that reflects this other dimension. We're just taking the data from CERN and we're creating this virtual space that you guys can hang out in, and you're basically hanging out in another dimension, Yeah,
it's its own version of multidimensionalism. Again, and CERN being the real analog to that sort of philosophical and social technocratic utopia.
Yes.
So we'll see how it
what
goes.
Dr. Michael Heiser is to us, the biblical scholar that allows our crazy speculations to have some kind of foundation biblically. In the context of all this crazy stuff. CERN itself is the scientific sort of legitimate, the thing that's making a lot of the cultural references, legitimizing that cultural phenomenon and narrative, cosmological narrative. So,
well, speaking of legitimization, Gonz, it's time to check in with Shillzilla.
Yay, Shillzilla!
Shill for sure.
All right, folks. Yes, we're checking in, not with Chris Cillizza, who is our very good friend that we love to follow and mock, but also congratulate when he deserves it, which doesn't happen often. But this is more of an update on our dear CNN Plus. We've talked about over the past month, 1 month, about how this is actually kind of dangerous. And
1 month, it was 3 weeks.
We've talked about how the corporate mainstream news media, they wish so badly. They wish so badly that they could harness the energy, the motivation, the authenticity, just the goodness of independent media. There's so many good things about it.
Should I play the Stelter launch clip from 3 weeks ago when he was talking about the CNN Plus launch?
Have it ready. One second.
Got it.
So, we've talked about how the corporate media wants it so bad. They see the value. People love independent media. They trust it more than corporate news media. There's nothing corporate news media can do to get out from under the thumbs or disconnect from the strings that control them. They are not about news. They don't care about people. They are an instrument of the elites of this world. And they want to be legitimized in the way that independent news media is recently. But they can't do it. And their one sort of big project was CNN Plus. Now, we have some fun news, but I just want to be clear. This is fun, and we like to joke about it, but it also makes me a little anxious because when the lizard people cannot infiltrate or co-opt something, they then turn to destroying it. And this certainly does not bode well for the future of independent media and how they are sort of targeted by the corporate media. But to put you in the mood of what the hopes and dreams were for CNN Plus, let's play this clip.
CNN is an icon of the cable and satellite age, but now cable is competing with streaming, and there isn't a streaming subscription service for TV news in the United States.
Oh,
so if you were creating
okay.
a news product from scratch in 2022, how would you build it? That's one of the questions, one of the starting points for CNN Plus.
Oh.
This new streaming video service is launching on Tuesday. It's a big deal in the media business because it's the biggest bet any company has made in the news streaming world. CNN's hired hundreds of people and created dozens of new shows for the service.
All right. That was 24 days ago.
This was 24 days ago, the biggest bet that has ever been made on a news streaming service. And this is coming from CNN reported by CNN. Let's see what they have to say. CNN Plus, the streaming service that was hyped as one of the most significant developments in the history of CNN. By the way, this is written by Oliver Darcy and Brian Stelter, the man who literally you just heard talking about how all of his hopes and dreams are going into CNN Plus. He is the one reporting this. CNN Plus, the streaming service that was hyped as one of the most significant developments in the history of CNN. You did it, Brian. What are you doing writing this?
He hyped it.
Will shut down on April 30th, just 1 month after it launched. Oh. Again, this is being reported by Brian Stelter on CNN.com. And I love the phrase that was hyped as one of the most significant. As if anybody but Brian Stelter at CNN was hyping it.
Oh, I'm sure he's like, you look at the numbers. Oh, everyone's talking about CNN Plus. It's like, everyone's talking about how it's going to fail.
Such a doofus. CNN Plus customers, quote, will receive prorated refunds of subscription fees.
Oh, no, they got to give back the money too. That's horrible.
The subscription fee, the monthly subscription fee for CNN Plus was $2.99.
Oh my gosh.
They're going to prorate $2.99. So you're going to get like a 13-cent refund from your CNN Plus. The decision was made by new management after CNN's former parent company, Warner Media, merged with Discovery to form Warner Bros. Discovery earlier this month. The prior management's team's vision for CNN Plus runs counter to Warner Bros. Discovery. CEO David Zaslav's plan to house all of the company's brands under one streaming service.
You can't monetize the network.
Exactly. Some CNN Plus's programming may eventually live on through that service. So no immediate plans to put
poor Chris
Anderson Cooper's parenting show or the book club with what's his face. No, I'm sorry, folks. You're not going to get your favorite shows back.
On Point with Siliza? That's all we care about. Is he going to live?
Yeah, On Point. This was his moment, man.
I know.
Remember when he tweeted?
He was hyping
24 days ago. 24 days ago, they actually let Chris Siliza into the CNN office. He took a picture with the CNN Plus logo and said, "It's happening.
It's happening."
Meaning they're finally letting me on TV. I finally get to leave my YouTube cave.
Maybe David Zaslav is in his office and he watched on the point with Chris Cillizza on CNN Plus, and he thought we got to shut this down.
Shut it down.
They saw
down.
He did a
We've
Google
made a
search,
huge
saw
mistake.
our analysis on Chris Cillizza, and was like, "Yeah, we're losing really bad. So let's just shut the whole thing down." The whole
thing costs about $250,000, which is
I thought it would be more.
There is more if you count other aspects of it, but kind of the braggable.
Okay.
The thing they were bragging about was about $250,000, but there's definitely more that went into it. Other programming will shift to CNN's main television network. Quote, in a complex streaming market, consumers want simplicity and an all-in-one service, which provides a better experience and more value than standalone offerings. And for the company, a more sustainable business model to drive our future investments in great journalism and storytelling. Discovery's streaming boss JB Perrette said in a statement, quote, we have very exciting opportunities ahead in the streaming space, and CNN, one of the world's premier reputational assets.
It's an asset. This is a giveaway that it's an intelligence operation. Right. It's an intelligence asset. CNN.
Sure. Yeah. Will play an important role here, Peretti added. Peretti and incoming CNN CEO Chris Licht.
Oh, he's lit.
Chris Litt notified staffers of the decision in a meeting on Thursday afternoon. Litt bluntly told employees it was a uniquely
poopy situation.
Poopy situation. Again, remember, this is on CNN.com. It is so brutal. Hundreds, and it's this hilarious sort of humiliation ritual that the new CEO, the new company, the ownership of CNN.
It's like a hazing process.
If you haven't been following, CNN has been sold to Warner Bros.
Right.
I mentioned it earlier in the article here. Yeah. Warner Bros. Discovery. And one of the bosses who made this happen, one of the main guys, was one of the founders of Fox.
Right.
So it's this weird ideological thing. He says CNN has become complete trash. We're going to make it into real journalism again.
Yeah, we want real journalism again or something, right? Like just totally calling out the failures of CNN in the last few years.
Exactly. And during all of this was the same time, again, go back to, now this is actual criminal activity, but you had the CNN.
The Cuomo.
There's the Cuomo thing. There's the CNN producer who was in the pedophile ring.
Right.
There was, moment after moment after moment leading up to the purchase of CNN was just littered with complete disaster.
I wonder if that's part of the takeover too. Like get in there, expose all the stuff first, and then we'll buy it. It's like you drive down the value to purchase it. So it kind of makes sense.
That was definitely part of it.
Yeah.
And so we've seen this happen a few times. The CNN is really being put through these sort of like humiliation rituals, these hazings where they're being torn down from the inside on purpose by the new bosses who hate what CNN is, want to destroy it and build it into something new.
Seems to be the trend recently. With Elon trying to take over Twitter, there's definitely a reset taking place.
All in the name
attempted.
Of improving journalism and free speech and things like that.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. It goes on. Hundreds of CNN Plus staffers may lose their jobs. Litt said in an internal memo that all CNN Plus employees will continue to be paid and receive benefits for the next 90 days to explore opportunities at CNN, CNN Digital, and elsewhere in the Warner Bros. Discovery family. So you get 90 days to find a new job in the company. Yeah.
Musical chairs.
Staffers who aren't absorbed elsewhere in the company will receive a minimum of 6 months severance, he added. An agent for the one CNN Plus host who was set to anchor a weekly show on the streaming service.
Is it Chris?
I think it might be Chris.
No, it's not Chris. Come on. They were going to give him an anchor seat?
Well, he's the point. It's technically kind of a news thing, and he would anchor the show. Right. It's a weekly show. It's not a daily anchor.
True. Okay. So he can just come in hot with his hot Trump takes and then leave.
Yeah, right. Exactly. An agent. So the agent for this anchor, this unnamed person described their client's program at the network as facing an uncertain future.
It does sound
it's
like
all
Chris.
TBD, the person said. I'm sorry, Chris, it's a hard
Oh,
time.
man.
But we told you this was going to happen.
know.
We told him not to do this.
Yeah, well.
But the agent added that the network has gone out of its way to make clear that it is committed to finding roles for CNN Plus hosts.
Wow, this feels like it's
Listen.
written directly to Chris Cillizza. Just him. Like Brian Stelter is writing an article just to communicate to Shilzilla that it's going to be okay.
Totally. And it goes on and on. They have about 20 more paragraphs, but it's all kind of the same. They talk about, like, was this avoidable? Was it not avoidable? They had a town hall, and where Peretti was, well, it says here, during the town hall, Peretti expressed some frustration with the prior leadership of CNN, which was led by Jeff Zucker until February.
This is some kind of a culling situation too, probably, to now I'm starting to think maybe this whole CNN Plus thing was just to do that, to actually shake things up, launch something kind of like a test run, or like a, I don't know, something where it causes everybody to work and get into quick work mode, and kind of, I don't know, it just seems very.
Here's an important detail. It gets into a really important detail here.
Okay.
During the town hall, Peretti expressed some frustration with the prior leadership of CNN, which was led by Jeff Zucker until February, and Warner Media, which was led by Jason Kilar until early April. Some of this was avoidable, he said, but prior leadership decided to just keep going with the planned March launch of CNN Plus. Despite the impending merger, he said, the streaming service ended up launching just 2 weeks before the Warner Media Discovery merger completed, much to the exasperation of Discovery leadership, which had a different strategy but could not legally communicate with CNN executives before the deal was official. Warner Bros. Discovery has billions in debt, much of which is a result of the deal to combine the company, and executives are under pressure to find $3 billion in savings that Wall Street is expecting from them. So I think, Jeff Zucker knew that he was being sold. He knew he was on the out. He knew that this was basically going to fail, but he pushed it forward anyways and made it the most expensive possible streaming service he could. And he basically set up a ticking time bomb to blow up when the merger completed. And I think that's the main thing here.
So
you had
this is
Jeff
Zucker's
who's a
final
total
pitch or
corrupt
something.
monster. Yeah. And he lit a piece of dynamite and left the building.
Right.
And let it explode in Warner Bros. Face. And such is the integrous world of corporate news media, baby. Filled with corporate sort of assassinations and time bombs.
Lizard eat lizard world out there.
It is. It's an lizard eat lizard world, baby. And you know what? That makes me so grateful, Gonz. While the corporate news media is busy destroying themselves from the inside, the true independent news media can live on with the support of the people. And let's take a break.
It's break time! Come on, take a break.
That's right. That's all right.
It's
It's
all right.
independent media. We're on the value for value model, which means we have no corporate interests whatsoever. I mean, hello. If you have corporate interests and corporate money involved in your independent news media, you are not independent. That is my feeling about it. It makes sense to me. And you know what? In this day and age, it's too easy for independent media to be co-opted through the financial tomfoolery that comes from easy money from advertisers and the like. But not here, baby. We're on the value for value model. So if you get any value out of what we do here, if you see the value in the future of independent media, especially analysis and deconstruction, if Canary Cry has brought any value to your life, maybe it's entertainment or information or analysis or deconstruction or just a fun time, a fun way to spend a few hours every week. Whatever value it brings to you, you're invited and encouraged to become a part of the value for value model, because it's the only way that independent media is going to survive. The corporate news media is going to be doing everything they can to destroy the problem of independent news media. And if you want it to continue, it is up to the people. So we encourage you to join the movement and become a producer of the show. You can become a producer by heading over to CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
That's right. CanaryCry.Radio.com/support is a wonderful place where you can support the show in so many different ways. You can support the show with your cryptocurrency if you're a cool crypto kid. You can support the show by coming in with a monthly producership. That's a set it and forget it. If you get value from the show, you expect to get value from the show, and you want to propagate the show so it continues to create value for your life, signing up for a monthly producership is an awesome thing to do. It really saves our butts during the slower times of the month, which happens every month. We're so grateful for our monthly producers. But if commitment is not your thing, you can go ahead and make a one-time producership in any amount that you'd like. So go ahead and do that. Gonz, are you ready to once again thank and, praise our executive producers?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Executive producers.
Here we go. All right. That's right. Our executive producers are the top producers for this episode, and we've got a few of them we're so grateful for. This is really the past couple episodes. It's reminded us what's possible.
Yeah.
If you've been listening to the show for this last month, it's been difficult, but coming in here this past couple episodes is renewing my hope for the future. And that's partially because of these executive producers, starting with executive producer Lacey F.
Lacey. Here we go. Yay, Lacey. Before we continue on with all the names and the notes and all that stuff, let me just say, first off, thank you to all the executive producers today, and all the producers. But something important to keep in mind with this value for value model, most mainstream media, they tell you how much it's worth, like how much the media is worth. Like CNN Plus, what is it, $2.99 a month? Right. They're telling you, we're only worth $3 a month.
That is about exactly what it's worth. Maybe even less.
Yeah. So for these producers to come in and give the amount that they do, it's really a huge. It's actually, yes, the people telling us what the show is worth to them. You get to decide. You don't get to do that in mainstream media. So that's a huge difference with value for value.
Yeah.
Amen. So anyway, thank you, Lacey.
I love it. It's a better way to do it. We often describe it as more of like a kingdom economics thing.
Yes.
It's trying to separate from the corporate corruption, the mammon, the principalities, the powers that sort of dictate how the economics of this world work. And value for value really is a truly alternative way to think about not just what we do, but just economics in general.
Right.
So participation, again, I'm very literally personally proud. It's hard to say that without thinking that maybe somebody thinks I'm being funny or something, but I'm actually very proud of every producer of the show, because to participate in value for value takes courage. It takes generosity. It takes a lot to sort of break free from what we've been trained to expect in economics. So anyways, executive producer Lacey F.
Where'd you find this?
Now, we got a note here. Lacey F. Is the executive producer, and here's a little note. Not from Lacey F., but you'll hear. Hey, Basil and Gonz, I'm sending you guys this email because I didn't think the note would fit in the PayPal note. I'm wanting the money that I sent to go toward my mother's dameship.
Ooh.
So we've got a gift. We're getting a dame gift here. Tomorrow, April 23rd, is her birthday, and this will be her birthday present from me.
Happy birthday to me.
That's right. Happy birthday, Lacey F. from your best buddy Basil, and of course your Asian provocateur for Christ, Gonz.
Yeah, make it weird. Go ahead.
Yes, we're very happy to be celebrating you.
Yeah.
The note continues. Her name is Lacey F. Her email address. Oh, gives me her email address. Okay. I know she needs to choose her name, but I'm not sure how that works. Okay, we'll get in touch with you, Lacey F. Hopefully you guys. Yep. Hopefully we read this and give her the birthday jingle. We did it. Love you guys. Keep spreading truth and rattling cages. And it says, love William F. William F., perhaps the best son in all of the Canarium. What a special gift.
Yeah.
Yes. And for those who might be new to the show and don't know exactly what's going on, there's the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames, which is a place of honor reserved for the producers who participate in the Value for Value model, supporting the show in the amount of $1,000 or more all at once or over time. And yes, they are damed. We have a little ceremony on the show. We're very proud to honor them. And William F., what a wonderful birthday gift to your mother, Lacey F.
And
so we'll be getting in touch with Lacey F. and we'll be damning you probably on Monday's show as long as we get the info.
Yeah, and William F. sort of laying out a potential model for Mother's Day coming up here.
Oh, Mother's Day Dame Drive. Dame your mother. What could be more important than that? What could be a better way to show your mother that you love and appreciate her than getting her a place at the Canary Cry Roundtable? Good job, William F. And congrats, Lacey F. Happy to have you at the table.
William, thank you. Congratulations, Lacey. Happy birthday, Lacey.
Okay, next up, we've got another executive producer, Sarah L.
Sarah L.
And Sarah L. comes in with a nice round number, and I'll just mention it again. We always lean in the direction of anonymity, so if you come in with a nice, flat, round number, we know that, just know we're not going to read the number. If you don't mind us reading it, add something funky in there. You know, so putting 33 cents or something is a good example, but you can do whatever you want. Sarah L. comes in and says, good morning. I have done some accounting, and I think I have a spot on the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames.
Ooh,
yes, and she sent the accounting. Yes, you're all responsible for your own accounting, by the way. I want to tell you so many things. I feel like I have known both of you for a long time. I started listening back in 2014 and have caught almost every podcast the day after it comes out or listened live on Twitch. I have grown with Basil and Gonz and the whole Canary Cry family. I've lived in 4 different states and switched careers while I've been listening to you. Wow. That is a lot of life change. Yeah. You have all been such a huge blessing in my life. I would like to be Dame Sarah of the Shadows. Ooh. I used to be lurking in the shadows, and now God has given me a great light. I wish to use it to light up the shadows. Amen. Also, I'm the first Sarah to be a dame, so I am also Dame of all Sarahs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's a lot more I could tell you, but time is ever against us. Yeah, I get it, sister. Just know that I pray for the whole Canary Cry family on a regular basis. I hope to listen to you for years to come. Thank you, Dame Sarah of the Shadows.
Where'd you find this?
Amen. Well, thank you. What a wonderful note. Much. I mean, it's really heartwarming to hear like how much life change that we get to be with people through in the Canary Cry family.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot of stuff, and I'm happy to have been a part, some sort of constant in that ever-changing life of yours. Thank you, Sarah L., and we'll be, daming you later on.
Thank you very much, Dame Sarah.
Next up, we've got executive producer Paul G.
Paul G. Paul George?
Giamatti. Paul G comes in with, did you give Sarah L. the executive producer jingle? Okay. Are you doing it at the end?
Well, I did for Sarah. I can do it
whatever you
now.
Want. Why don't you give Paul G his?
Where'd you find this?
There we go. Paul G comes in for $122 and says Basil or Gonz. All right. I'm going to mute you, Gonz. Here, I'll take this one. It is with much deliberation that my wife, Julie, has decided to get out of hospital nursing.
Amen.
The hospital has recently been taken over by a larger for-profit organization. This has caused a shift in how hospital administration view patients. Patients are a revenue source instead of human beings. Yeah, sounds similar to advertising. The video, Watch the Water, confirmed what my wife has been feeling for a long time now. She is turning in her resignation letter today.
Wow.
I would like to ask the producers to keep our family in your prayers as my wife seeks employment.
Producers, assemble!
That's right, producers around the world, the Canary Cry prayer team there. You could be part of it. All it takes is listening up and praying for those who need it. We're keeping Paul G and wife Julie on the prayer list there, producers. They're making a big step. They are also executive producing the show, and they need guidance and comfort, and that the Lord's best wishes for them will be expedient, I'd say. Yeah. And of course, wisdom and direction is always important in times like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Today's producer amount is significant to us because it is the number on the house where we first met. House 122. Wow. It's a cool name for something. It just so happened to be the exact amount in my PayPal account today. It's a sign. Much love to the Canary Cry family. Paul G. P.S. I can't wait to get my first supply drop. It's going to make me go, ooh, woo. Might as well give him a new woo there.
Okay, hold on.
You have it laying around?
Yeah, it takes me a second to get to it here.
Okay.
Wait.
Paul G go ooh woo.
Hold on, what happened? Hold on.
No.
One more second.
Okay.
All right, let's do it one more time.
Okay. Let's make Paul G go woo woo. That's right. Thank you, Paul G.
And by the way, Paul G, 122, good number. It's my birthday, January 22nd, 122.
Oh, yeah, that's been popping up a lot lately.
Yeah,
That popped up last episode, too.
My time is coming, Basil. Just be careful, man.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul G.
Thank you, Paul G.
Let me jump back over to the right document here. Sorry about that. Next up, we've got executive producer Mark D.
Mark Dice. He finally answered. I think we did that to him last time.
Yeah. Mark D comes in for $151.33.
Oh, he's executive producer.
Where'd you find this?
He sent a note here. Sorry to miss the note during the transaction, but still wanted you each to know how much I enjoy the podcast, even if I'm an episode or two behind. My donation amount of $151.33 plus fees is for my 51st birthday, and I wanted to give that value back to the show. Thank you very much. Oh, let's give him a birthday go.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Mark D. I like this produce on your birthday thing. Keep up the good work, he says. You are a bright light in my life. God bless Mark D. Well, God bless you, Mark D. You're a bright light in our life as well.
Thank you, Mark D. Appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, amen. That concludes our executive producers, but we have some other wonderful, talented, good-looking producers to thank. Excuse me, starting with Charles RS3.
Charles RS3.
Yeah, I took some creative license with that one. Thank you, Charles RS3. Coming in with a fanny pack full of sevens, 7777.
Wow.
Yeah, with a note that says, grateful for your work. Well, thank you, Charles RS3. We're grateful for your producership.
Thank you, Charles.
Next up,
Charles in charge. Sorry, go ahead.
Next up, we've got producer Christopher B.
Columbus.
Columbus. That sounds like you shouldn't be able to say that on TV. But thank you, Christopher. Comes in with 47.77 plus fees. Fun numbers today. My goodness.
Thank you. No.
Yep. No. Not that I saw. Next up is Logan C. coming in with. This came in the Linktree, and I'm not familiar with the Linktree fees, but the total was $11.29.
Do you think
probably
that's
an 11.11?
Okay.
Probably. The note says, figured it was time to up my amount to get a D-mooch. Thank you very much, Logan C. Always fun to D-mooch a brother. Says here, been supporting once a month, but felt it was time to start giving more. Love you guys and the work you do for the Lord. Well, thank you very much, Logan C. Thanks for being
Logan
a part
C.
of it.
Appreciate it.
Next up, we got producer Morph on an 81 episode streak. And Morph comes in for 11.11, and there's a note here that says, Happy Earth Day, Isaiah 45:18. For thus says the Lord, who created the heavens, who is God, who formed the earth and made it, who has established it, who did not create it in vain, who formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord, and there is no other. Wow, that's a great scripture.
Yeah.
I don't think that scripture has been brought to my attention recently, so that was special. Thank you, Morph. Next up, we've got producer Sir JC Night of the Techno Squatch on a 95 episode streak.
95.
And JC has a note here that says it's Friday day.
Oh no.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish the note while you do that.
Well,
it's Friday day. Hope you both have a blessed weekend. Thank you, Sir JC.
It's Friday day. Keep playing with the Friday thing.
Got it.
It's the short one. Good job.
Yeah.
Do we have like 1,000 of those? Do we need to run through a playlist or anything?
What do you mean?
No, joking. Thank you, Sir JC. Next, we have producer Jackie U on a 51 episode streak.
Jackie U, thank you.
Next up is the amount of Jackie U's producership, which is 1001.
1001. Amen.
Note says
Women rule.
1001, baby. It's Friday. Old jingle.
Uh-huh.
It's Friday.
Oh man,
there you go.
The cycle, the seasons.
Thank
we've been
you,
through
Jackie.
with this show.
I love that you did that too, Basil.
The note continues. The people Yahweh has put in my life through this show is incredible. I am forever grateful. I have brothers and sisters that I know will be together for this life and the next. Thank you, Basil and Bonds.
Hallelujah.
You know, there's such a theme running through this wonderful producer segment this episode, which is just like the longness of the family, the CanaryCry family. How just truly, it's not just a show. It's not just like customers producing the show. You know, it's not subscribers. It's not subscription holders paying $2.99 for access to the show. It really is a family that makes the show happen. And, it's really incredible. Thank you, everybody. We've got producer LX Protocol V2, the producer bot.
Thank you, LX Protocol V2.
And he's on a streak. I'm double checking that streak. 23 episodes in a row. Comes in with a pocket full of sevens and a note that says Friday.
It's Friday day. Keep playing with the Friday thing.
It says, did you I get yesterday? Yeah, you did. Been so busy. Have a blessed day. If I didn't, I can say, no, you're all good, buddy. You're all streaked up.
You're
we got
good,
you,
man.
bro.
You're good.
You're good.
LX Protocol V2.
LX Protocol. He's just running his, error check software.
A debug.
Next, we've got producer Jonathan F.
Wow, that took a long time.
That took a long
I pressed the
time,
button
didn't it?
and it just didn't want to go. Well, interesting.
Yeah, and Jonathan F. is at least on a 2-episode streak. Do we have that streak setter jingle?
Oh, streak setter. Yeah.
Yeah, the one he sent in, actually.
Yeah, let me see here.
I don't know if it's called streak setter. It might be.
Okay, hold on. I got not a streak, which is not the right one. Here we go.
Oh, no. There we go. That's right. You just started a streak, I think. Jonathan, thank you so much. And that concludes, well, let me do a little refresh, make sure and see if anybody just came in at the last second. We want to give everybody every chance they can to get in on the episode they want to be on. And that is it. Okay, that concludes our list of producers who came in the amount of 777 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. But we got a few more people to thank under that amount, starting with Sir Casey the Shield Knight on a 146 episode streak.
Whoa, 146.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just keeps going.
Didn't have time today to get that Pauly jingle
nuts.
thing all done today.
Really?
But it's
Okay.
yeah. There's just too many other things going on right now with
That's
everything else.
okay.
But
Well,
yes, it will happen. Hopefully next week sometime, Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, well,
or Monday or
hopefully
Wednesday.
before Sir Scott Knight of Truth hits 144, because he's on a 136 episode streak.
He's also a streak. Yeah.
Next up, we got Runk Smash, 25 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Rung Smash.
Mm-hmm. Now we got
streak.
Got a
Hold on.
streak. There it is. Next up, we got the Streak Sisters. Ooh, big day for the Streak Sisters, starting with Gail M. 111 episodes in a row.
Ooh.
Triple ones. Triple ones.
And wind it back, DJ Gonz, because we got Veronica D on a 111 streak.
Triple ones.
Oh my gosh.
Triple ones.
That was like a remix.
It was in a round. That was fun.
A lot more
Last but
going
not
on.
least, we've got Sir James, Knight and Servant of the Lion of Judah on a 79 episode streak. That's
Thank you
right.
very much.
That concludes our producers, our financial producers. Thank you so much, and thank you for your patronage.
Come on, play. There you go.
money.
Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patronage.
Please leave the message after.
No. We got a knighthood, Gonz.
Oh,
We got
that's
two
right.
knighthoods.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Wind
forgot
it
about
back.
that.
Here we go. That's right. It's time to knight a couple of knights, actually. A knight and a dame. Full spectrum dominance over here at the round table. And so, again, this is the Canary Cry Round Table of Knights and Dames, a special place of honor reserved for producers who have supported the show in $1,000 or more over time or all at once. And now's the time. Are you ready?
Here's my katana.
Okay. With your katana. I'm going to use the big axe today. It doesn't sound that big, but trust me, it's big. You want to call up Jacob W. and Sarah L. Please step forward to the Canary Cry Round Table of Knights and Dames, where we have a seat for you. Thanks to your generous support in the amount of $1,000 or more, we are proud to pronounce you Sir Jacob Orrickbor and Dame Sarah of the Shadows. Please join us at the Canary Cry Round Table, where we have the belt of truthful truthiness, the breastplate of righteousness, custom fit Birkenstocks to carry forth the gospel of peace, the shield of ferocious faith, the helmet of substantiating salvation, the supernatural sword of the spirit, and of course, adorable samurai babies, infinitely cute kitties for cuddling. And if you're hungry, we have fancy feast, wet food, carved Cosmo the CRISPR cow, and fried wormicorns. Welcome to the Canary Cry Round Table of Knights and Dames. One more time, Sir Jacob Orrickbor and Dame Sarah of the Shadows. And the crowd goes wild. That's right. Everybody in the chat, everybody at home, Round of applause for your new knight and dame. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means so much. We couldn't do this without you. And we honor you. And we will put you on the website one of these days when we can put that on our schedule. You'll get there eventually. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Put away the blade, Gonz.
Okay, sorry.
It is Friday, and I'm going to be splitting up some review reading, so I'm going to do one of them now.
Okie dokie. Here we go. Review!
That's right. We did it, folks. You're going to get to hear ooh woo a couple of times because we hit 6 reviews this week, which means so much to me. You've made me go ooh woo. Ooh, whoop. That's right. Leaving reviews on Apple Podcasts and other places is really a wonderful help to the show. We have no control over the algorithms. Only you, dear listener, have control over the algorithms, and you activate them by leaving ratings and reviews. So go do that. And I want to read a couple now because I like to do it, and people got to hear the goods. Starting with a 5-star review from Jay Fisk from the United States, says, good fun, 5 stars. Longtime listener, not a fan of the long breaks, but hey, it's their show. Good commentary on current events. I only hear them on this podcast, so can't comment so much on the live shows. Go, men, go. Thank you very much, Jay Fisk.
Thank you, Jay Fisk.
And yeah, I mean, judging by his comment, probably won't hear us read this. I'm sure he's skipping the breaks.
Skipping the breaks, yeah.
I get it. Hey, I'd rather people skip the breaks than send me long emails about them. Thank you, Jay Fisk. Next up, we've got Chauncey Lump coming in from the U.S. 5 stars. Thanks. Great show, fellas. Short and sweet. Love it. Thank you, Chauncey.
Thank you.
Next up, we've got Michael in the MO, United States of America, with a 5-star review. Says this, second best podcast in the universe. Now, hold on, folks. Hold up. Okay. Settle down. He's going to explain it. In the morning, gents. No agenda producer here. Yay. We love our no agenda people. Thanks for being here, Michael. Hence, you guys getting second best. Okay. I can concede. They are senior to us, if nothing else.
Well, there is the reason why we have best podcast in the metaverse.com.
That's right.
Is because we're the best podcast in the metaverse.
We're not trying to step on the best podcast in the universe.
We don't need to be
but
in the
we
universe.
are the best podcast in the metaverse.
Yes.
Because I am literally in a VR headset doing it in the metaverse as we speak. So, okay, I'm just going to stop interrupting Michael here. In the morning, gents. No agenda. Producer here. In the morning, Michael. Hence, you guys get second best. NA holds the title as best podcast in the universe. Nice work on going live on the NA stream. Thank you. I found you guys a few months ago on the stream and loved the Christian perspective on current events. I do lawn irrigation and work 99% of the time by myself, so I always have podcasts on. I've added yours to the mix. I use Hypercatcher.
Yes. Hypercatcher, podcasting 2.0 app.
He's in it. He's in the future. You're living in the future, Michael. I used Hypercatcher, but came on here to leave you a 5-star to not become ugly, horrible person. Keep doing the Lord's work, Michael W. Thank you very much, Michael W.
Thank you, Michael.
And yes, you are not an ugly, horrible person anymore.
Not anymore.
Yes, we gotta get our butt in gear about podcasting 2.0.
Yes.
And there's the first half of the reviews here. Thank you very much. Please go leave ratings and reviews. It's really important to us, and I could ramble about it forever, but just listen to Gonz's grumpy uncle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're doing that to me right now. Okay.
Ugly, horrible person. You must leave review on iTunes. And if you do not, you are ugly, horrible person. You bring shame to family. Ugly, horrible person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't worry. You don't have to stay that way, folks. I do want to plug newpodcastapps.com.
Yes, do that.
Adam Curry from the No Agenda Show is not only is the podfather, but is also the podfather of podcasting 2.0. And we got to try to get an interview with that guy.
Yeah.
If somebody's listening who could help us get his attention, that would be great.
He's responded to me before in the past, but and we got to properly.
He does, but
yeah, we got to properly.
Yeah, he's more of a professional than us. We need an agent to reach out or something. Yes. What was I saying? Oh yeah, leave ratings and reviews. Oh, podcasting. Oh yes, newpodcastapps.com.
Yes.
I suggest everybody start doing that. It's going to be uncomfortable, just like using any other app. You're used to your normal apps and things, but it's only a matter of time before Apple Podcasting and RSS feeds are subject to the same cancellation, censorship, control that everything else is. But podcasting 2.0 apps are immune to that sort of thing. At least that's the idea.
And the cool thing about sat streaming is that you can, which is Satoshi streaming, which some of these apps have integrated. You can basically, send a podcast a little bit of Satoshis, so value, in any amount to any podcast through the app, and you can set it up so that you only send your podcast or the podcast you're listening to Satoshis for the minutes. Literally, you can set it to the minutes you listen to of the show. So, there's direct value for value.
Yeah, we'll tighten up that pitch a little bit. But yeah, it's got value for value built right in.
Yep.
And all sorts of cool stuff like chapters and images. The art can be right there coming up on your podcast player. And, it's truly the answer that this podcast needs.
Yeah.
Because we are such a mix between visual and audio medium, which the live stream does very good at. But, there's limitations to like YouTube and stuff like that.
Right.
So this show is uniquely in need of podcasting 2.0. If anybody's a producer out there, maybe you're a no agenda producer, somebody who could help us set up our podcasting 2.0 stuff a little bit better, send us an email, CanaryCry.Radio@gmail.com. Okay, there we go. Let's check some voice messages.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message. Beep. Oh, man.
Did it again.
All right. Who do we got? Well, yeah, go leave us a voice message. It's easy. It's fun. What other podcast will play your voice on your favorite podcast? Not many of them. I'll tell you that much. You can head on over to CanaryCry.Newstalk.com. There's a green tab on the right side or the bottom, and click on that. And it's just easy. It's just there. You just press the button, and you can leave us a message. 90 seconds. For now. All right. Who do we got?
All right. We're going to start off with Stephen.
Basil and Gonz. This is Stefan.
Stefan.
And I want to thank Gonz for the peekaboo session by his daughter during the Fauci segment in the most recent episode. I started dying laughing about that. So don't get on her case about showing up. It was cute. Thanks.
Hey, what
Thanks,
a wonderful
Stefan.
message.
I appreciate that.
Short, sweet, and just a nice little, I don't know, enthusiasm.
Encouragement for the little
the
one.
daughter showing up in the show.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's because it messes up my flow and concentration,
Sure.
So
I get it.
Yeah. But thank you.
Daddy's working.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All right, we got another one from Rochelle.
Stefan, by the way. You keep saying Steven. It's Stefan.
Stefan. I'm sorry.
I know.
I fail.
I know.
I'm an ugly, horrible person.
It's okay. You're still loved.
All right. Rochelle.
Hello, my feathered friends. Just wanted to send some encouraging tweets your way, singing some scripture from Matthew 6 and Ephesians 1. Have faith in your Creator, my friends. O ye of little faith, don't you know he clothes the grass of the fields, which today is and tomorrow not, just whose promises have we forgot? O ye of little faith, don't you know it's through God we are sealed, which today is and tomorrow bought, just whose face have we not sought? O ye of little faith, don't you know Messiah's being revealed? Which today is and tomorrow taught, just whose insights have we not caught? O ye of little faith, the only choice is destruction or grace, the dragon's shadow or the divine's face, the demon's chains or the loving's lace. O ye of little faith, stay strong for Jesus.
Thank you,
strong
Rochelle.
for Jesus. Thank you very much, Rochelle. Always a wonderful respite with your singing there.
She's got like a real... It brings me back. I don't know why. It brings me back to like the 90s. Like a 90s.
What does that mean?
I don't know. There's something about her voice that it kind of makes me feel like I'm in the 90s, like the not alternative like rock, but there was like a... I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but thank you, Rochelle.
Okay.
It's
Well, I'm going
being
to
very
take that as a
sentimental.
good thing.
No, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
It's not a
okay.
bad thing. No, it's like 90s, like cafe alt rock kind of feel.
Yeah, that's cool.
Something like that.
Love
I don't
it.
know. Yeah. So thank you
very
Rochelle.
much,
Appreciate it.
Rochelle.
All right, and one more here from Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah, just to let you guys know, the Macho Man is really digging the new Wednesday jingle. Oh, yeah. After taking Sam Elliott's advice on revisiting and understanding the scriptures, I'm pretty sure that I've come to the conclusion that it's okay to mix the new Wednesday jingles. Yeah. Because the new Wednesday jingle sounds like the old Wednesday jingle on steroids. Yeah, kind of like the ones I took back in the 80s, but it's okay because it was legal back then. Oh, yeah. That's right. I took his advice against my better judgment, a little bit of iron sharpening iron, if you will, because the Macho Man is man enough to admit when he's wrong. Yeah, but he's also macho enough to take the time to understand the scriptures through the way they were intended to be understood. Oh, yeah. God bless you guys and keep on rattling cages out there.
Wow, God bless you. Macho Man Randy Savage calling in again. Been a while. Glad to have you back on the show, buddy. Thank you
very much.
Okay, I think that's it, right?
That's it. Yep.
All right, so here's the thing. YouTubers, you got to go find another place to watch the live broadcast because we are cutting you off, baby.
Yep.
And let's wake on up.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Go Twitch, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. You can find all those links at CanaryCry.Party as well. Too hot for YouTube.
YouTube. Now you see me. Now you don't.
Oh, got to cut off the YouTubers.
Are they gone? Are they gone? Are we free?
They're gone.
Are we free?
They are gone. They are
Okay, folks. Now we can get really wild. We're going to talk about COVID and the vaccine now.
It's Corona time. COVID-19. COVID-19. COVID-19.
COVID-19. Yes.
COVID-19. COVID-19.
Coronavirus.
Come on. There it goes.
Vaccine number one way.
There we go.
Vaccine number one way.
Yeah, we're going to start off with a little clip from Ursula, the EU.
Von der Leyen.
Yeah, I just like to call her Ursula because I watched Little Mermaid when I was a kid. All right, here she is talking about digital certificates.
Who is fully vaccinated or tested negative or has recovered from COVID can get one. And we have right now 15 member states that have already signed up. And from the 1st of July, all 27 member states have to apply these EU digital certificates for the COVID. I am planning now to start my tour through 27 member states for the Next Generation EU, our Recovery and Resilience plan, and I'm very curious to test and to see how this certificate will work. Thank you.
So there you go. She's holding up her phone, which has like a QR code on it. And I wish the audio was a little bit louder on this little clip here, but there you go. Ursula talking about the digital certificates in the EU, 50 states already adopting it. I don't know. I thought people were kind of pushing back on this stuff, but apparently they're just going to roll it out, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of a very interesting part of what we're seeing. It's like nobody wants it. Nobody's talking about it. Even politicians are not even mentioning it, sometimes even outright against it. However, it is still just very quietly, very slowly, very under the radar moving forward, these digital certificates, which we must expect. I mean, of course, we didn't think that it wasn't going to happen just because we're not hearing about it, because it is a primary goal of the Great Reset. You must have digital identity. The digital identity movement is still moving forward. And, it's hard to get to like really follow it because nobody's covering it as far as the mainstream is concerned. But we must stay on top of it. Like don't get complacent, I guess, which is really annoying, man. I'm really annoyed by this.
The thing that's really nefarious, I think, is that it really truly singles out anyone who not just didn't get the vaccine, but hasn't gotten sick. Because if you listen to her, she says, if you've had COVID, if you've gotten vaccinated, she lists off all these things, then you should, you can get one. So it's implying that if you haven't gotten sick before, if you haven't gotten the vaccine, then you can't have one of these IDs. And it's kind of like, wow, that's really targeting people. It's not even about, you might get COVID. It's like, oh no, people that had COVID are good to go. Just you that haven't gotten sick, you are now marginalized. It's like,
and that's exactly
weird.
Right. And that's part of the sort of sinister subtlety of it.
Right.
Which is, maybe they're going to stop pushing you to get I mean, they very well could ramp things up and force it on people again easily at any moment. But they don't even need to, because it's not so much about the sickness. Was it ever? Probably not. Didn't seem that way most of the time. But it's not even about that. It's the entry point into the digital ID. And so, in the future, you could see a time. Maybe it's a year, maybe it's 5 years. We don't really know. But whatever the timing looks like, it's, you want to get on this plane? Okay, let me see your digital ID. Oh, you don't have one? Oh, and it's not so much like, you're a filthy unvaccinated animal. It's, you do need one, though. You can't get on the plane without it.
Right.
So, if you want it, you can actually sign up right over there. You will need to get the vaccine, and they'll give it to you right there, and then you'll get your ID, and you'll be good.
Just got to strip down your underwear, stand in this booth, and open your eyes wide.
Do whatever theater is involved with that.
Yeah.
To
kiss the
denigrate
skull.
You as a human being, and then haze you into the cult. But that's kind of the scary part of it, is the subtlety. It's easy to fight back against it when there's mandates and the scientists don't agree on the effectiveness or the safety or the this or the that. And when it's a mainstream top of news cycle, easy to push back and get fired up and motivated and activated and hold a passionate stance. But if it's something you never hear about, it's gone, your temper has settled down, life has gone back to normal, you're just getting on the plane, and then boom. No, you can't. You need your ID. That's weird. You don't have, we can make it so easy for you. Just step right over here.
And the timing of the whole pandemic is so perfect, too, because 15 years ago, there wasn't enough sort of a ubiquitous use of a cell phone. Like there wasn't one, the smartphone wasn't a thing yet. So people had flip phones or, Blackberries or, everybody was kind of like doing their own thing with the phone, the Nokia or whatever. Yeah. And now because of the smartphone, most people have either an iPhone or an Android. It's really, it's become, everyone has one. So in the condition of a medical emergency, this having COVID and being like, it really doesn't work. These passports or these paper things we're handing out or whatever gets lost, or just the old system is. But what's something everybody has that we can just easily tap into? Well, it's a smartphone, and so it's just looking at it from the perspective of the elite in terms of, hey, how are we going to time this? How are we going to roll this out properly? We got to get the devices into everyone's hands first before we have the pandemic. So just very interesting. And now, your identity, your medical identity will be tied to it based on what the centralized authorities like the EU says about you, like that you are qualified to live or not.
Which, again, is something that people have been paying attention since, the beginning of the pandemic.
Well, it's just like anything.
Talked about on day one.
Day one. It's just like anything, though, with like conspiracy theories. It gets labeled conspiracy theory, but when it happens, it's just quietly, slowly.
Oh, it's just normalized.
It's just normal. Right. It's just very quietly roll it out, and no one makes a fuss.
Speaking of which, let's head on over to the Washington Post with a headline here. Biden administration to appeal ruling striking down transit mask mandate.
Give it
the
up,
battle
man.
is on.
Give it up.
Battle is on. The Biden administration will appeal a federal judge's decision that struck down the mask mandate on public transportation, officials announced Wednesday. What a bold move. What a bold move Biden is doing here. I mean, you saw videos and heard podcasts and read articles. I mean, the jubilation in the transportation industry, the explosion of positivity at the mandate getting struck down, not just by crazy unvaccinated animals, by everybody. Has been so positive, in fact, that Jen Psaki was sort of hinting that they wouldn't appeal. But today says they are. The Biden administration will appeal a federal judge's decision that struck down the mask mandate on public transportation, officials announced Wednesday. This was Wednesday. The Justice Department filed notice of its plans to appeal after U.S. District Judge Catherine Kimball Mizell of Florida on Monday concluded that the mandate exceeded the statutory authority of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The ruling blindsided the White House and sparked days of debate within the administration about how to proceed. The Justice Department on Tuesday had said it would proceed with an appeal if the CDC determined the masking order was still needed. Quote, it is the CDC's continuing assessment that at this time, an order requiring masking in the indoor transportation corridor remains necessary for public health. The CDC said in a statement Wednesday evening, quote, CDC believes this is a lawful order well within CDC's legal authority to protect public health. Mm-hmm. We don't care what you think, CDC. I mean,
CDC
this is the
believes.
This is the exactly. This is the hilarity of it. They believe it is legal, even when a federal judge told them it was not. Can you imagine what life would be like, Gonz, if we could just do this? Hey, that's illegal, mister.
Oh, you're not allowed to talk on. You just cut out. You just cut out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was about to say.
It was hilarious.
I was about to say you're not allowed to say things on the streams.
Yeah. Apparently. Well, I'm sorry, officer. I believe that it is legal. So we're gonna have to just agree to disagree on this one.
We need a higher court.
Yeah. The White House.
Yeah. Okay. Go on. Sorry.
So the White House spent 2 days deferring on questions about its legal strategy as agency officials fretted about the political and policy implications of a court battle to support the mask mandate, particularly in a midterm election year when many Americans say they want to move past the pandemic. As that debate ensued, officials publicly told Americans they were on their own when it comes to masking on transit. Passengers' decision to wear a mask on public transportation is up to them, President Biden said Tuesday. So just the day before that they filed a suit, or at least said they would file a suit, he was totally on board, saying it's up to them. Then the next morning, boom, reverses his decision. Public health officials have, and that makes me think this is not necessarily a Biden move. There is something.
Is there
deeper
anything
going
that's
on.
actually a legitimate Biden move other than
there's
him
not.
moving around on?
No, yeah, just
on a
shaking
grassy
hands
knoll,
with the
shaking-
air. Yeah. Public health officials have worried that the ruling poses a risk to the CDC's authority.
Ah, there it is.
There it
That's
is.
what they care about. It's the CDC's authority. They want to display the power the CDC holds. Not even the Supreme Court can hold them down. They are
What it is it's maintaining the authority. Now, there's the quote from Psaki. I don't know if we played it. I actually meant to bring it to the show, and I don't think I did. There's the quote from Psaki in one of her addresses where she said explicitly about the mask mandate, the CDC's renewal, like 2 week to flatten the curve mask mandate thing.
I think we did play that one a couple episodes ago.
She said explicitly, this is about maintaining the ability to do it in the future.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
it wasn't so much that we need it now. They did it so they could preserve the authority to do it in the future.
Which is funny because that is exactly what this judge said they were doing.
It was written in the judge's statement.
It's like,
that just because you want to do it for good reasons doesn't mean that it's legal. If the courts handcuff the CDC in the most classic exercise of public health powers, not the most classic healthcare. Okay. It seems to me that the CDC will not be able to act nimbly and decisively. Nimble.
We're
CDC.
like Gumby.
Got to be nimbly and decisive when the next health crisis hits, and it will hit.
They always do that. Why do they always do that? Fauci did that. I think Biden did that. Everybody does that.
Bill Gates
There's
does
going to
it.
be, there's going to be another one. And there will be
another one.
It's like they just turn into their lizard form for just a second because it tickles their lizard scales so much.
If the decision is allowed to stand, Gostin said, the CDC will always be looking over its shoulders, always gun shy about exercising its powers.
Oh, please.
Good. That's the point.
Oh, please. Come on.
They should be shy about exercising their powers because they don't have them. They're not a law mandate order giving organization. They are a scientific organization.
That was my whole thing.
Advise policy.
Yeah, they should look at the science that's public and sort of, facilitate what the public all understands as the common sense thing to do, not just decide internally and then enforce it on people. But anyway.
Yes, and it's often not even based on scientist recommendation.
Science, yeah.
It was explicit during the last booster authorization that the committee of scientists at the CDC said, no, we do not think that this is necessary. We're not sure it's safe. It's not worth the risk. And Rochelle Walensky, a politician at this point, not a scientific professional, says, oh, thank you for your opinion, but we're just going to go ahead and authorize it anyways. Yeah, that's great. So let's see here. The Biden administration could ask the appeals court to immediately put Basil's ruling on hold and reinstate the mandate, which, if successful, would create a new wave of confusion for travelers. No, there's not confusion. It's anger. It is anger and alienating your voting public. This is the worst possible idea for them. I mean, part of this is a type of nihilism, I believe. I believe we are seeing a nihilism from the Biden administration and from the Democrats. The Democrats know over and over and over, they've admitted that they are totally hosed for these midterms. They know they're going to lose power. They know they're going to lose seats. They know they're going to lose everything. So I don't know what the secret plan is here, but it feels like there's some sort of fatalistic nihilism with making this decision on a political level.
I think we're seeing either people that tended to lean left or are just open Democrats moving center and like making Republican talking points, or they're just like double, triple, quadrupling down on the nonsense, which speaks to your nihilism. It's just kind of like this weird.
There's something going on.
We're just going to keep going. It's a torment. It's like a self-inflicting, tormenting thing to just keep doubling down like this. But
I think a part of it I have to see it in a broader context of what's going on. The war, all sorts of other things that the Biden administration is dealing with, and perhaps keeping this tension, this back and forth with COVID policy, it serves some sort of purpose. I don't know. Maybe it's like a distraction. Maybe it's keep us thinking about other things, keep us angry about other things, something like that. Now, I did want to bring up, because I'm going to move on now. We have been seeing a wave of basically personal attacks on Mizelle, on the judge that did this.
Right. She's a ugly, horrible person because she passed this thing here. Yeah.
She's a Trump-appointed judge. Yeah. And the Bar Association wrote a letter saying we're not sure that she's fit to hold her position. No, they didn't say mentally. They just said we don't think she's qualified.
Oh, really? I thought they were questioning her mental fortitude.
I don't know. It wasn't mental. They're just saying she's not fit. I mean, not like you're crazy or anything, but they did use the words "not fit" for the position. Right? Okay. Which is neither here nor there really. It's just it's an attack, is what it is, and you can absolutely expect that this comes from a higher up sort of authority trying to balance the scales. And one of the main people who did some of the testifying, read the letter, who has been deep in the process of trying to delegitimize the federal judge, Mizelle, is Dianne Feinstein. And I found something interesting, Gonz. This is a week old, so it didn't really come onto my radar until recently. But Dianne Feinstein was, again, I can't remember if we showed the clip or just talked about it or whatever. But she was the one reading the letter, talking about how Mizelle is not fit. And this is coming from foxla.com. It's reported other places as well. And the headline is, "The issue is Senator Dianne Feinstein fit to serve?" Now, this was a week ago, which was actually before the comments on Mizelle. This week on The Issue Is, big questions about California's political future following a new report in Senator Dianne Feinstein's mentally fit enough to serve. Is Governor Gavin Newsom, blah, blah, blah. Let me scroll down, get to the good part.
Just real quick.
Is this the right article?
I don't know. It's the one you gave me.
I know.
Real quick, if I'm understanding correctly, the American Bar Association saying that Mizelle may not be fit because of lacking sufficient experience. Right. They said that in 2020, apparently. It wasn't something that they came out with after she made the thing, right? It was like from 2 years ago. Okay. That makes all right. So I was confused because I didn't think that
I didn't make that clear. Yeah. This is that was actually in response to her being appointed by Trump.
Right.
Trump was kind of
going on. So they're just pulling out the file, like, oh, what did we say? Because she's a Trump guy, or gal.
Exactly.
So just pull out that narrative and go with it.
It's a majorly sort of pull. They've been building a file on her ever since. They don't like that she's a Trump judge. I just threw a new thing in there for you.
I see it. Yeah.
Yes. This is the one I meant to send. This is Fox News.
Okay.
Dianne Feinstein's memory fading as she may no longer be fit to serve. Senators say. So senators are saying this. Senators and other officials are reportedly concerned that Dianne Feinstein, 88, is no longer. She's almost 90 years old.
Wow.
Talk about the geriocracy, is no longer mentally competent enough to do her job as a lawmaker. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, her own newspaper. Feinstein's critics, however, have declined to speak on the record and asked to have their names withheld. Quote, "I have worked with her for a long time and long enough to know what she was like just a few years ago, always in command, always in charge, on top of the details. Basically couldn't resist a conversation where she was driving some bill or some idea. All of that is gone," an anonymous lawmaker told the Chronicle. Quote, "She was an intellectual and political force not that long ago. And that's why my encounter with her was so jarring, because there was no trace of that," the lawmaker allegedly continued.
What?
Quote,
is that a quote or not? What are you talking about? Allegedly
continued too is a weird, like, okay, did they not continue? Weird. It's bad and it's getting worse. A Democratic senator reportedly told the Chronicle. Sources speaking to the Chronicle about the issue remained anonymous.
Yeah, of course.
You're talking about a Democrat. I mean, that could be Nancy Pelosi talking to the Chronicle.
That could be Feinstein's other self.
She could be her.
It could be, that's what I'm saying. It's herself
trying to find a way out.
Yeah.
In particular, Feinstein has defended any perceived distractions as a consequence of her husband's tragic death due to cancer earlier this year. Quote, the last year has been extremely painful and distracting for me, flying back and forth to visit my dying husband who passed just a few weeks ago, Feinstein's office told Fox News Digital in a statement. Quote, but there's no question I'm still serving and delivering for the people of California, and I'll put my record up against anyone's.
Oh,
and
really? You want to compare records? All right. I mean, you are winning in the New World Order game, I suppose, by being there for that long. And
well, there's all sorts of stories. Like you go and you read, like some of the other articles had more accounts, like different accounts of more lawmakers, aides, people like that. And some of the stories were really actually quite sad. Like one of them, she was on some committee and they were kind of like, she had kind of been declining and she wasn't really effective on the committee. And this is kind of just recently. And so somebody sat down with her and had the conversation and told her, you just got to be off the committee. Okay, you're off the committee. I'm sorry. And she forgot the conversation. She forgot that she had been kicked off a committee. And so they had to do it again. They had to kick her off the committee again. And so, look, my grandfather had dementia. It's a horrible thing. I'm not saying she has dementia, but once you're 88, you start declining. You just decline, and that's just what happens. And it's horrible. And on a personal note, it's really sad. And especially when she's had such a hard, a tragedy, death of her husband, that the stress can affect dementia or Alzheimer's or just memory things in general. And whether or not it is something diagnosable or not, she's not being effective. And so anyway, I didn't mean to go this deep into it, but the fact of the matter is that she is the woman who is forgetting conversations, has Democrat lawmakers coming out and, reporting to, giving interviews about how she's declined so much and is unfit to serve. And she's the one who stood up and talked about how Mizell is unfit to serve. And it's like, what is going on here? Well, the storyline of this is insane. And we've been following the drama of the court, the branch of government, judiciary branch of government, and how it's basically been under attack from the Supreme Court to the federal judge appointees of Biden and Trump. There seems to be a concerted effort in the news media to belittle, denigrate, disintegrate the idea that basically just the judiciary in general, like the judicial arm of the government, needs to be called into question, as in the same way that like the executive branch, like the president. We all love making fun of the president, so let's take a little heat off of Biden and start talking about how the judicial branch needs to be politicized. And it's specifically not supposed to be politicized, but putting up a woman who is being, she's 88 years old. She's like the oldest person with a seat. And have her talk about how a 34-year-old judge is unfit to make decisions as a federal judge while she is forgetting meetings that she had the day before. That she being Feinstein, I think is hilarious and sad at the same time. But I think the broader implication is, the sort of meta-analysis is that in a modern time where the executive branch and the judicial branch of our government seem to be constantly being used against one another, I think that disabling or disarming the judicial branch, who is really the one branch of government really that has any sort of instant ability to hold a president back, disarming that branch of the government is a great way to set up for some like actual true authoritarianism.
Well, you got the three branches. You just need to kick down one for the table to fall over.
Yeah, I mean the Congress is a mess in itself.
Yeah.
The
Well,
parliament.
it's all a mess now, but yeah,
Well,
if you can get one to truly fall.
Well,
then,
when it comes to mano y mano, one person against one person, the judiciary branch and the executive branch, that's mano y mano.
Right.
I mean, Congress, you got to get a whole bunch of people to agree. It's a whole mess. It's a whole thing. But if you want to go toe to toe, you get a federal judge and you get the president, and they can battle it out with each other. And we've seen it happen here over the past few years. And so I think the executive branch is doing everything they can to tip the scales in their favor, which makes me very worried about, again, increasing powers of the president, which was never supposed to be a king type role anyways. So there you go. Just something to keep an eye out for. As this mask mandate thing continues. I'm not even sure if the Biden administration's actual goal is to keep masks in planes, because I think that can only hurt them. So
we
I
were
think
talking about mask mandates. I forgot what we were talking about.
I know. But it all ties in, it's the big picture. You can't just get too granular.
Yeah.
But big picture wise, want to keep masks. It's going to hurt them politically, but I think it's a way to keep the battle going between the two branches and to tip some scales into the executive branch's hands.
Speaking of politics, we're going to do more politics.
Yay!
It's Latin for many. Now suck your blood. Now suck
Politics.
your blood.
Fox News. Truth, baby. This is the headline. Disney lied about Florida's parental rights law. The mouse has been caught, says Leo Terrell.
This is the funniest quote from this whole thing.
Fox News contributor Leo Terrell asserted that Disney lied about Florida's parental rights law Wednesday on Hannity. Disney, quote, lied about this bill, he told host Sean Hannity. Quote, this was a parental rights bill. The mouse has been caught, and therefore the Florida state legislature has the right to grant this legislation to strike away their special privileges, end quote. The Florida Senate passed a bill Wednesday to strip Disney of its special self-governing status. The Florida state legislature has a backbone, Terrell said, as it is, quote, basically sending a message to all these woke corporations that you cannot dictate policy to the people of Florida, end quote. He added that he is, quote, very, very proud of the state of Florida. Yeah, you and Basil, huh? Former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi shared State Agriculture Commissioner candidate Wilton Simpson's observation that the parental rights law is about, quote, protecting children and parents' rights from not having 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-olds talk about sex, period. End quote. Disney successfully flew under the radar, quote, for a very long time, Bondi said earlier in the interview. The company received its self-governing power 55 years ago when the counties where Disney was constructed lacked the resources to assist the company, she said. It will not succeed in challenging the parental rights law, she predicted, quote, Disney chose to wade into this debate, these liberal elitists, instead of staying in their lane, which is what? Entertaining families, making a lot of money for their shareholders. But instead, they decided to attack the state of Florida. They're the ones who said, we're going to fight this law. We're going to get this law overturned. So they picked this fight, and they're going to lose this fight. Scene.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Sean,
right.
Sorry. End quote.
Scene. Shan.
You know what's interesting is, so I didn't know about the special rights that Disney had in Florida.
It's really fascinating.
It is fascinating, and what we're talking about here is, basically that they received a self-governing power. What is it, 40-mile acre land or something like that? And
so just real quick, just real how it happened. They came to build. This was like 50 years ago. They said we're going to build Disneyland here, and when it comes to Disney World. When it comes to that kind of development, the county or the state is, they kind of kick in, they kind of, bring the utilities in. The state has a responsibility there. And the county was not able to do that. It was a poor county. They didn't have the money to help out, do their duty, basically, for the people of the county. And so Disney just said, okay, we don't need you. That's fine. You don't have to spend the money. We'll spend the money. We'll take care of it. But in return, we basically are like our own little country. Like, we are self-regulated. You're not going to, mess with us. You don't come check our meters. You don't come do anything.
Yeah, they're kind of like DC or the Vatican City. They're kind of their own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they're kind of like the Chaz autonomous zone. They're like a breakaway civilization.
Yeah, what's funny too is that, and I learned all this because on social media, Chick-fil-A was trending, and I was like, "Whoa, what woke thing happened now with Chick-fil-A?" And what it was a bunch of people on Twitter, so not a majority, but just a few people on Twitter that were highlighted by Twitter algos that were out there saying, "Oh, I guess we can shut down Chick-fil-A now." But Newsom, go shut down Chick-fil-A because, DeSantis is shutting down Disney. And it was like, okay, what weird.
You just have no idea.
No
what
idea. It's like,
about.
I didn't know Chick-fil-A had that much power in California. That I didn't know they were their own nation almost in California. So anyway,
exactly. They're just stupid. They don't know what's going on. But it's interesting too. I mean, you get into the real conspiracy stuff. I mean, concerning Pizzagate and Epstein and all that kind of stuff. All the underground stuff. All the weirdness surrounding Disney.
A couple weeks ago, and I think we passed on the story, and it was in the additional stories section. The heir to Walt Disney, came out as trans. Like, he's public about it now.
Oh, that's been driving this whole thing.
This is okay. So I just wanted to mention that as part of the.
That's the inside sort of baseball of this whole thing. Is the heir to the Disney throne is trans and is the one driving a lot of Disney's involvement in, again, sort of rebranding the parental rights bill into the Don't Say Gay bill, and then trying to affect the government of Florida while being exempt from the government of Florida. And I mean, it really was a pretty, again, mano a mano battle with DeSantis and the state of Florida versus Disneyland. And that's problematic. You get sort of, what is it? It's more than 40 acres. It's like a 40 square mile.
No, I was going to say, 40 miles, 40 square miles. Yeah.
You get 40 square miles that, the government has no authority over, basically.
You're gonna do some stuff.
There could be some weird stuff
it's
going
like
on.
The guy,
nobody would know.
It's like the story last episode where, the Netflix documentary coming out, Our Father, the guy who had all he was a fertility doctor, and he ended up, fathering like 50-something kids because he was messing in his laboratory. The same thing, you got the ability. You don't necessarily have anybody looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And so,
this thing, again, pulling out, taking a wider view of it, we've talked about the Great Reset and stakeholder capitalism, where corporations are, basically replacing governments in a lot of ways, or at least that's the goal. You basically had Disney in that role, like in that situation already.
Yeah.
And so DeSantis doing what he did, and his team, I don't know if it's just him, but fighting back against this idea that corporations would be more responsible governors than the government. Now, look, I'm not fans of either, but in the battle that we've been tracking and watching for years now with the Great Reset, this is an interesting step in sort of the other direction, and I'm sure they're not happy about it.
Yeah, the CEO of Disney came out, Bob Chapek. He told his employees, the Disney employees, quote, "You needed me to be a stronger ally in the fight for equal rights. and I let you down. I'm sorry.
Equal rights. Equal rights for what? You wanted to take the rights away from parents to like decide what their children
It's not
learn.
about parents.
Was equal rights for teachers to have equal rights to
our
parent
lizard,
the children?
our pedophile lizards.
Okay.
Here's the other thing that I thought timing-wise so interesting. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that this morning on the TEDx Talks YouTube channel, a video was published, a TEDx talk by Isaac Bruchowitz titled The Magical Secrets of Disney's Communication. What do you think it's about, Basil? The Magical Secrets of Disney's Communication.
I don't know. It sounds ominous to me, though.
It sounds like a video I would have made on the Facelikethesun YouTube channel talking about the strange occult magic that Disney does in their communication methodology.
The brainwashing, the social engineering.
Create the mind control, the young minds that they're creating some sort of slave class with and all this kind of stuff. No, it's about how the rides at Disney, evolved over time, and they had to shift, and they had to listen to the public who had thoughts about.
Is this an SEO takeover or something?
I think this is an SEO takeover. They don't want. They knew Disney was going to be highly searched. Today. I mean, it hasn't been in the last few days, but I think they just needed to throw something in there.
They didn't want anybody stumbling across any conspiracy theory videos on accident.
They didn't want anybody to look for magical secrets, the phrase magical secrets or Disney communication in the context of some kind of, more truthful analysis of what's going on. So, they busted out this TED Talk, which is the most boring thing. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, listening to this guy talk about how the first Peter Pan ride didn't have Peter Pan in it because they were trying to say that you're Peter Pan. The public didn't get it. So they had, 5 years later, they made another Peter Pan ride. It's just like, magical secrets of Disney's communication. So, it was brutal. But there you go. I just thought it was an interesting thing to see, the timing of it all.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, I have something that's related, but also unrelated.
Okay.
But it's just a delight, and I think it'll be a nice transition into the break.
Is it a Ghislaine Maxwell picture from Disney from 1985? Because we got that too.
No, it's not that. More fun than that.
Oh, more
This
fun.
is coming from news.yahoo.com, mirrored by from HuffPost. The headline: Rudy Giuliani.
All right.
Unveiled.
Whoa.
On The Masked Singer. Judge Ken Jeong walks off. I'm done.
Oh, please.
Rudy Giuliani, the former New York City mayor and one-time personal attorney to ex-president Donald Trump, was unmasked on Wednesday's episode of The Masked Singer. It was first reported in February that Giuliani was a contestant on the Fox competition show and that two of the four judges, actor Ken Jeong and singer Robin Thicke, left the stage in protest when his identity was revealed during the taping of the episode. In the version that aired Wednesday, Giuliani was revealed as the inhabitant of the Jack-in-the-Box costume.
Oh, wow. Put him in the clown suit, huh?
Put Giuliani in a clown suit, make him dance around. Oh, my gosh, Thicke said after the unmasking. Quote, "This is definitely something I never would have guessed."
Cha-ching, says the PR people.
Yeah, that's good TV right there.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Jeong was seen walking away as Giuliani gave a farewell performance of Bad to the Bone.
Oh, God.
I wonder if these clips work. If we could get any of these clips to work, I have to.
Yeah, it says this content is not available due to my privacy preferences, which is kind of weird.
Okay, figure that out while I read this. I'm done, Jeong said as he departed. It's not clear if Thicke also exited. He was not shown doing so in the footage. Two other judges, actor Jenny McCarthy, and that's weird they let McCarthy on there, and singer Nicole.
I thought she's been on there for a long time.
Maybe. I don't know anything about it. And I just mean, like, let her on TV. Since she anti-vaxxer?
I don't
thinking of
remember.
Somebody else.
Maybe someone else.
And singer Nicole Scherzinger stayed and danced along to the song. Giuliani was one the speakers at Trump's January 6, 2021 rally contesting the 2020 election results, and he led Trump's legal efforts to overthrow election results. Speaking to the crowd before some went on to storm the U.S. Capitol, Giuliani told them that the voting machines were rigged to make Joe Biden the president.
We all remember the sweat, the black sweat coming off of his forehead.
The leaking hair
dye sweat, yeah.
Rigged to make Joe Biden the president, and that it was time for a trial by combat.
Oh, boy.
Trump's legal team filed. It just goes into Trump stuff.
Trump stuff.
It just goes
Well,
Trump. Oh, they do mention in 2020, former Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin competed on the show as a pink and purple tie-dye bear, sparking backlash from viewers.
Oh, God. You know what it is? It's like anytime they need some kind of PR boost, they're like, get a Republican up in there, freak out the judges.
Listen to this. This is still about Palin. In her defamation case against the New York Times earlier this year, she sought to bar the jury from seeing the video from the show. They were going to show the video of Sarah Palin dancing on a TV show in a purple tie-dye bear costume at her defamation lawsuit case.
Maybe that's what they're setting up for Rudy Giuliani here, he's in a clown suit. He's a clown.
That's what I mean. Like, why would he do this? Now, this is pretty common for like PR rehabilitation stuff. Just being on TV, being on a sort of a vapid, sort of useless TV show that people just watch for fun, whatever, it's a pretty strong PR rehabilitation move to put somebody on a show like this. But yeah, I don't know, man. Putting Giuliani in a clown suit and having him dance around and sing Bad to the Bone seems like a bit of a setup to me. And I don't know I just don't know what's going on. It's weird, man.
I don't know what's going on.
We're just living in clown world here.
Well, speaking of clown, do you remember,
I can watch the video.
Do you remember this?
Folks, do you have any idea what this clown's doing?
Biden calling Trump a clown in the debate. I have the video here. You ready? This is 22 seconds. It has 11.3 million views.
Oh, it's good.
Before I make you,
I'm done.
Break 1,000 more, baby. Before I am
Giuliani singing.
I want to be yours, pretty baby. Yours and yours alone.
Oh, this is
I'm
so
here
cringe.
to tell you, honey, that
So
I'm bad
bad.
to the bone. Bad to the bone.
Oh my gosh. What is he doing? Now, for those who are just watching, he's in this giant, crazy clown suit. And, I don't know if it's because he obviously can't dance. I mean, he's
he apparently can't dance or sing
or walk or sing or do anything. He's standing in a giant box where he can't move. He can't do anything. He's just standing there in a giant box dressed as a clown. And just sort of yelling the words to Bad to the Bone, which it's not working, man. It's not working for me. I may have walked off too, so I can't really blame this guy.
I love the shot. They do a crowd shot, and it just shows the crowd like all into it. And it's like, oh man, how much do these people?
It's probably, I'm thinking that's B-roll. He could have been on an empty stage and they just cut this all together. And you got to keep in mind, talk about humiliation rituals.
Yes. They've been doing a lot of that recently, huh?
A lot of that going on this episode. He was the mayor of New York, the beloved mayor of New York.
He cleaned up the whole mafia situation, right?
And he was mayor during 9/11.
Right.
He was the man who put the
right.
city back together, the strong leader. And then, of course, the Trump stuff happened. He's supposed to be, his whole thing is like trying to be like a respected politician and leader and lawyer, rather. And then to just dress like a clown and stand in a box and kind of wiggle back and forth. And honestly, a little bit of an inappropriate song for Giuliani to be singing, but okay. Anyways, it was just a fun time, just to again, another humiliation ritual. What does this mean? How will this be used in the future? If I was one of Giuliani's enemies, this would be pure gold.
Yeah, I was trying to find any information on Giuliani's spokespeople or public relations people or just anything, and there's not a whole lot. I'm sure they change over time and stuff, but
after this they might not be his PR people anymore.
It's possible. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe, within the realm of Hollywood, you got these agents competing. It is a very competitive sort of industry. Yep. And I don't know. It could have been one of those favor pulled or something. Who knows? But very bizarre.
Who's to say? All right. With that, speaking of bizarre, let's take a break.
We went really long in that segment, by the way.
We're going really long, just in general. So
the show is supposed to be over by now. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
I know. Should we talk about it some more?
Come on, take a break.
This is our second break. And it's a time to thank the producers who come in with their talent. We have producers that come in with their treasure. We appreciate that. But we also have producers who come in with their talent, a very talented group of producers with talent.
Wow. Okay.
Canary Cry News Talk is a place for therapeutic reflection of our troubling world. And we encourage those of you out there listening, watching, hanging out to express all of these things through art, music, jingles, ISOs, microfiction, sculptures, dance, I don't know. So anything.
Interpretive
dance routines.
Somebody do a Canary Cry interpretive dance, please.
We've been waiting for years for that. Hasn't happened yet. Maybe on skates. It would be very poetic.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe you can film it. I could see you doing the spin, the thing that
I'm working on it, man.
Okay, there you go. Good. So there you go. And we like to share it here, all the artwork and all the stuff coming in. And we're going to do that now. We're going to start off with the audio production.
Audio production.
Audio productions. We're going to start off with actually, I think there's only one. No, wait. Is there one that just came? Okay, that's just a link. Oh, no. Sorry.
This is exciting.
Jonathan F. came in with a jingle right on time here, so I will add that to the list. But in the meantime, Learbag 3K is here.
22nd century Learbag man.
And actually, I think he just fixed something here. He said, "Hey, boys, while catching up on the Wednesday's show, I noticed the intro jam does something really weird where the bass is normal, then it just gets real loud. So I fixed it." So I guess we didn't have to read this on air, but let's check it out.
Fine.
See how this turned out here.
I think the part I listened to it. The part he changed was a little bit in, but this is our pre-show music.
Right.
And he fixed it. So thank you.
All right. There you go. Thank you, Learback 3K. We also got something from Jonathan F. And let's see what the note says here. 144 streak jingle. Extra poly with the side of auto-tune. Thank you, Jonathan F.
You just did this. Thank you, Jonathan F.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. So here is 144, a poly jingle.
144 jingle, and it came straight from the heart.
That's good. That's funny.
That's pretty good.
Thank you very much, Jonathan F.
Thank you, Jonathan F. Hold on, let me make sure I have that. Okay, there you go. That's it for the audio production. Appreciate it. And let's move on to the art.
One art, please.
And that means we are going to start with Dame Allie of the Skillet Nation.
One RC, another one from Allie now. Here it is.
And let me get that on the screen there. This is the Biden Easter Bunny moment. And to accommodate the visual here for those of you watching. And you can just imagine, Biden there with the Easter Bunny giving him direction where to go.
Yeah, it's great. Come on, read the haiku, man.
Hey,
Gotta hear it. I gotta hear it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is the haiku to accommodate. This way, Mr. President, an ebony blaze haiku. Where's that water? There it is. Okay. Befuddled. Let me start over. Befuddled old dude. Mr. President dropping Easter eggs of war. Bunny person comes, waving arms, offering hugs, leads him to safety.
Bunny person comes. It's funny because in the syllabic metering, the counting of the syllables in a haiku, what is it, 575? Bunny
Something
person
like that.
comes. Yeah, it's 575, I think. Bunny person comes is so good. And she could have easily done Easter bunny comes. But no.
No, bunny person is
Bunny
way
person
more.
is way better.
Yeah, it's way better.
And yes, we've got this wonderful pencil drawing, magnificently shaded, of the moment where Biden needed to be herded around by the Easter Bunny. He kind of started going off on a tangent about Pakistan and Afghanistan to a group of children at the Easter Bunny event. And the communications director, dressed as the Easter Bunny, had to come over and lead him away. And, you zoom in on Biden's face there. He is definitely looking like a confused old man. But that Easter Bunny knows what she's doing. Thank you very much, Dame Allie.
Thank you, Dame Allie. Great work there. All right. We also have one from Sir Dove, Knight of Respeltia.
One art piece from Dove.
And the note, piece for today's artwork, I made a can label for a classic Shimura family business. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins.
Thank you so much for this joyful gift that you gave to us, Sir Dove. This is a Shimura family business here. Apparently is the Grumpy Uncle Bean Chili.
Ah, yes.
As we've got a can here, a nice product shot of the can. Good source of shame since 2022. Grumpy Uncle Bean Chili. Authentic samurai recipe. You are ugly, horrible person. And there's a nice... like on these family businesses, you always got to have the
face
the
of the guy,
headshot of old grandpa or uncle in this case, and it's you look a lot like your uncle there, Gonz. It's as I've always said, no, this is your uncle. This is your grumpy uncle.
You're saying I look like my? Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see the resemblance, and I've always said it, and I'll say it again. You're gonna look great with gray hair, man. Very distinguished. And I just love zooming in on it. You're an ugly, horrible person is the quote beneath Gonz's grumpy uncle. Home style with CRISPR beef.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've got the weight is 322 grams, of course.
322.
The whole can, or at least per serving, is 666 calories.
Makes sense.
You've got 13 grams of saturated fat. That's 33% of your daily value. You've got 66 milligrams of sodium. That's 72% of your daily value. Really, if you're looking for a bean chili that will do you right, Grumpy Uncle Bean Chili. Thank you, Sir Dove.
Thank you, Sir Dove. I'm gonna pitch this to the wife and be like, "Hey, I think we got something here."
I was thinking we're currently figuring out the supply drop for next quarter, and I took a little poll, and a lot of people want more of the art included. I mean, there's a lot of art included already, but. And I was thinking, what's that guy's name who's famous for the art? Andy Warhol, where he had the Campbell's soup thing in the four squares. I think we could do that for Grumpy Uncle Bean Chili.
Oh, we could.
Send a print out with the supply drop. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
Thank you, Sir Dove. That does it for the art. And on to the microfiction. Oh, what happened? Oh,
Microfiction.
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 And we have one today from Wrong Smash.
The newly awake Ciara sends a file to her friend Grace, saying, I know you're not trucking anymore, but try to listen to this. Within the first hour, she looks at the Amazarm Prime medic and sees him. Her Russ. He lets out a Dean scream of delight.
Amazarm Prime medic, huh?
A lot going on there.
Her Russ.
And Russ, Sir Russ shows up. And the Dean scream.
Yeah.
A lot going on. Thank you very much, Runks.
Is Heather Sir Russ making their appearance with
something? I think at least Russ, and I think is Heather an Amazarm Prime medic?
Oh, I don't. Well, no. Whoever's looking at. Hold on.
Grace.
I'm trying to get to. Yeah.
Grace is just stealing everybody's spouses around here. Thank you very much, Runk Smash.
Thank you, Runk Smash.
All right, I got a couple more reviews to read real quick.
Oh, yay.
That's right. Remember, go leave reviews. It's super important. I know, I'm trying to be cool, guys, but come on. Let's leave reviews. We need 5 or more a week. It's when the algorithms really kick in and hundreds of new people find the show because of it. But let's do it again. We did get 6 this week, which does make me go ooh woo. That's right. We got a few more coming in here, and especially you people listening on Apple Podcasts. There's just so many of you. It hurts to even think about a number that high. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You, dear listener, right now, open your phone, leave a review. Kind of like how Scuba Jill did in the United States. 5 stars, eternal perspective. We love Basil and Gonz for their ability to uncover and deconstruct the big themes in rarely cheerful news cycles while maintaining humor and perspective. They walk a tightrope between solid reverence, where appropriate, and lighthearted goofiness everywhere else. We know the end of the story. Yeshua wins. Big thank you to Canary Cry for keeping our focus where it needs to be. I'm afraid I would be fighting depression like so many others over the last couple of years if I didn't have B&G in my earbuds.
Aw.
Thank you very much, Scuba Chill 1. Appreciate that. I love that.
I wonder if she scuba dives with us in her ears.
Probably not, but that'd be cool. Let us know if you do. Send us a voice message from under the seat. Now we got another one from Johnny the Bravo. Comes in with 5 stars. Says 5-star show all the way. Let's get those 5 reviews in for the algos. Jingles, music, art, animations, NFTs, supply drop. Who else can say their show is produced by the audience, as well as talk about the fringiest topics while dismantling the narrative by reading in between the lines and the elite signaling through their shills with a Jesus-centered focus? What's not to love? I agree, Johnny. Thank you very much.
I agree, too. Yeah, good stuff. Love your hair, Johnny the Bravo. F.
Next up, we've got Simi2 from the U.S. 5 stars, all-time favorite podcast.
All right.
You will get something out of this podcast. Just tune in and roll with the humor as the breaking news gets broken apart and the truth is slowly revealed. Let your cage get rattled, then share the good word and rattle someone else's cage. I thought I sent this last year. ... Maybe you did. Who knows? But I appreciate it nonetheless. And there you go. That's all our reviews for the week. Thank you very, very much to everyone who does that. Truly warms my heart. Love reading them, not just for our sake, but for other people's sake. And if you haven't left a review and any of these inspired you, go now to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You can also do it on Audible and also rate it wherever else you are. But Apple Podcast reviews are really where the algos kick in. So thank you very much. And you know what? Don't take it from me. Take it from Gonz's grumpy uncle.
Ugly, horrible person. You must leave review on iTunes. And if you do not, you are ugly, horrible person. You bring shame to family.
Bean chewing.
Ugly, horrible person.
That's right. Bean chili.
Yeah, I have the bean chili art up right now. So
good.
Zooming into my face. Yeah, I do look good with the gray, the silver hawk. Really nice look.
Silver hawk. That's a new one. All right, let's finish this show.
Let's wake up.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
And let's talk about the days of Nora.
Days of Nora.
What happened to my jingle? I thought I had this jingle ready to go.
I don't know, man. This is when you're supposed to hit the distraction jingle.
Yeah.
Do you not have that just available at all times?
I'm just trying to focus in on finding the jingle that I'm supposed to find at this very moment because I don't know why it's missing. It was right. It was queued up, ready to go.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Finally, man. Sorry about that. Okay. Couple things that are interesting to note here. First off, from breezyscroll.com, Guinness World Record or World Records recognizes 21-year-old Florida Chihuahua as the oldest dog alive. So not only are they battling the whole don't say gay thing and Disney and DeSantis and all that down there, they got the oldest dog, 21-year-old Florida Chihuahua.
Now, before the show, when I saw this story and you brought it to the table here, I thought 21 years old, that could not possibly be the oldest dog in the world. That does not seem old enough. Then I realized I'm working on cat time.
Yeah,
here.
you're
Cats
working on
can
cat
regularly
time.
live to 20 years. I did not know that 21 years old is all it would take to win the dog contest.
Yeah. It says here in their latest post, Guinness World Records shared the news of a 21-year-old Chihuahua with the title of Oldest Dog Living. According to Gisela Shore, the owner of the dog, Toby Keith is a sweet, gentle, loving, and my little bodyguard. Born on January 9th, 2001. The dog was 21 years old and 66 days old on March 16th when the news came out. Quote, people can't believe how good he looks for his age. I was introduced to a tiny tan Chihuahua. They had named him Peanut Butter. I later changed his name to Toby Keith.
That's pretty funny. This is a pretty funny name for a Chihuahua.
The secrets to Toby Keith's long life. A combination of a healthy diet, a loving home is the secret to a long dog life. Toby Keith's day starts with a morning walk, followed by a slice of turkey, his favorite snack. Additionally, he goes on short walks or lies next to Shore when she works. However, despite having a heart condition, it is not bothering him a lot. Quote, the thought that my little guy has reached such a milestone is fantastic. I'm thrilled, she stated. The previous holder of the record was an Australian cattle dog who lived for a total of 29 years and 5 months.
That's much longer.
Whoa. However, Bluey died back in 1939. Okay. All right. Well, so this is not that impressive then.
Well, 39, that was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
This is the oldest dog in 100 years?
Apparently.
Okay, so what's the angle here? Why are we talking about this dog?
Because I think we are going to... You know how we're messing with our genes, messing with our Legos, God's building blocks for life and all of creation.
Mm-hmm. Not us, but somebody
Not us,
is.
but I'm saying us,
Dr. He-Jin-Kui is.
The colloquial sort of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will see genetic enhancement or maybe like longevity in our pets first. They're microchipped first.
Right.
So I think the dog, more so than a cat, I think the cat... something about the cat's temperament that they're not going to be all into. A cat owner's temperament, that is. But dog owners, I can see. We've already seen clone dogs everywhere, all over the place. All these celebrities cloning their dogs. I think we're going to see these records get shattered. So anyway, that's part of it.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting too because the classism is a huge problem in the idea of
access.
access to the genetic, benefits or whatever.
Yeah, financially or otherwise.
And what could be the one thing that shows you have more wealth and higher status than somebody who can afford gene therapy for themselves? Somebody who can afford to edit their dog.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got like Paris Hilton. It's one thing to be rich. It's another thing for your dog to be rich.
Yeah. And I don't think we will, well, I shouldn't say ever, but it could be a while if to get to a place like this. But can you imagine someone like a Paris Hilton putting up her dog's genetic sequence for sale, and then people can clone her, basically her dog, and they can say, "Oh yeah, we have the Paris Hilton dog,"
Mm-hmm.
Weird stuff. Anyway, that's
I hear you. Yeah, totally.
And kind of to pair that,
licensed merchandise.
Yeah, licensed genetics. To pair that with this story, I thought would be something to consider, making the dots come together as we do here. And that is an article from independent.co.uk. And the headline is Lab-Grown Stem Cells Can Repair Muscle Injury and Disease, Study Shows. It's always kind of interesting to keep track of some of the stuff that they're doing. And, I thought I got around the paywall. Oh, no, that's not good. Scientists have cultivated human muscle stem cells capable of renewing themselves and repairing muscle tissue damage in mice, an advance that may lead to new ways of treating wasting disorders in people. And,
live forever, baby.
Yeah, of course, they're putting it in the context of people that have degenerative muscle disease and things like that. But so easy to be like, oh, I'm getting old. I need my little stem cell injection to, beef myself up again.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of already do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Joe Rogan talks about how he's gotten stem cells for his knee or something.
Right.
And how it just completely changed everything.
Yeah. So I think this type of therapy and technology and science and all that is becoming more and more normalized, especially under the condition of, the well-being of the public, the longevity of the public, and all this kind of stuff. Always bringing that ethical question or conversation to the forefront of the difference between restoration and enhancement. In this article, It's like, oh yeah, we're restoring people with wasting disorders, but in reality, it's like, okay, that's great for people that have those problems, but what about
age is a wasting disorder? Like
time. Oh yeah, I know.
Just
There's
we
a
can
lot
genetically
of things
defeat time. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
And would count as enhancement, rather.
Right. And so, what about, exactly, Joe or somebody, or, I don't know, that wants to beef himself up more and use this technology.
I've wanted to mention this a couple times because the idea of normalization has come up a few times in the past episodes. And I did want to make clear, like, a lot of times with people like us, and maybe we do it, I try not to do it, but in the sort of, alternative independent sphere, a lot of times this idea of normalization becomes like the end of the conversation. Like, oh, why is this bad? Oh, because they're normalizing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the punchline.
And it's like, just normalize. What's the plan? What's the conspiracy? Oh, they're normalizing.
No, why are they normalizing it?
Right. And I want to be clear that like normalizing is not like a conspiracy in itself. And it's also not necessarily bad. Like good things can also be normalized.
Awareness can be, brought to a topic. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, fringe topics can be normalized. Mm-hmm. Our show can be normalized and kind of has been. Like you talk about a sort of new normal, us being sort of I don't know, we're nowhere near this, but I do like the idea of the new mainstream, and that's kind of what the corporate news is afraid of, is a new mainstream. And so this idea of normalization is not the end of a conversation, but the problem with normalization, the inherent problem, is that it stops conversation. It shuts down conversation. If something is normal, then you are abnormal to question it. Mm-hmm. And so normalization, of medical treatments that might reverse degenerative diseases or something, is fine. But the normalization aspect of it is, oh, well, does that mean we're not allowed to question
Yeah, you're a bad person if you say you don't want that treatment or something.
Or that there's a further conversation to be had about, is this restoration or is this enhancement?
Right.
You don't want to shut down that conversation, because normalization may shut down that conversation, which would would let us sleepwalk into some sort of, dystopian genetic future.
Right, which we're already doing.
Right. And with that, Gonz, let's talk about Antarctica.
So a new discovery.
Antarctica.
Penguins.
Pink penguins.
This fits in, man. This fits the whole thing we've been talking about. We've been tracking Antarctica, what it means to people, what it means to the world, and what it means to our future. And a particular part of that has been the ideological colonization. Colonizing is obviously just the bane of history's existence. All the colonization, destroying the diversity of culture and language, and but colonization of ideology is happening to Antarctica at an extremely impressive rate. And it continues. And what is the end goal? We're not quite sure, but the message is clear, and it's coming from pinknews.co.uk, LGBTQ web news site here. The headline is "Gay Couple to Tie the Knot in the First Ever Same-Sex Wedding in British Antarctic Territory." Two polar research ship crew members are set to become the first ever same-sex couple to get married in British Antarctic Territory. Eric Bourne and Stephen Carpenter have been together for 20 years, having first met. What?
Bourne Carpenter.
Whoa, bro. Bourne Carpenter. Oh, they're gonna hyphenate. Bourne Carpenter.
Yeah, it's
could it be the second coming? Eric Bourne, and kidding, folks, it's a joke. Eric Bourne and Stephen Carpenter have been together for 20 years, having first met on the RFA Sir Percival before being deployed in the Gulf War. Since then, they have traveled the world's oceans and currently work together on the polar research ship RRS Sir David Attenborough, which is on its maiden voyage in Antarctica. That's interesting. We're going to have to look into that. I didn't hear about that. Maiden voyage, Sir David Attenborough ship.
I think I've come across some headlines with that, but yeah, didn't necessarily bring it to the show. Go on.
The couple plan to tie the knot, either on Sunday, 24th of April, or Monday, 25th of April.
Depends on if the Large Hadron Collider changes the timeline.
No, Gonz. Depending on weather, which temperature is predicted to be between -3 and 0 degrees Celsius.
Romantic, bros. Romantic.
They will be joined by 30 of the ship's crew members, with the ceremony performed by the ship captain, Will Watley, at the British Antarctic Survey's BAS Rothera Research Station. Carpenter said, "Antarctica is such an incredible place. We have been together for 20 years, but now we've both been to Antarctica together. It felt like the perfect place for us to finally tie the knot." He said that they both had the coordinates of the research station where they will be married engraved on their wedding rings before setting off to Antarctica. Bourne added, quote, "We're both very proud to be the first same-sex marriage to happen in British Antarctic Territory. BAS is such a welcoming and accepting employer, and we feel very lucky to be able to live and work in such an incredible community and place together." Watley, the ship's captain who will perform the wedding, said, quote, "It is such an honor to be officiating Eric and Steve's wedding. The RRS Sir David Attenborough is not only our place of work, but also our home. And it is a privilege to help two integral members of our crew celebrate their special day." Quote, "I'm very proud of the inclusive culture within the British Antarctic Survey and across the polar regions. I'm thrilled for them both and wish them all the very best. The couple plan to have a celebration with family and friends in Spain." And that kind of last line, like, there's a lot to comment on, but the last line really kind of sums it up. Like, "I'm very proud of the inclusive culture with the British Antarctic Survey. That's the British zone there, and across the polar regions. So very proud of the inclusive culture of Antarctica, sending a message here. Again, the same message we've gotten over and over with some other sort of related stories, socially minded stories, the ideological colonization of Antarctica, is that, hey, the message is clear. Antarctica is this sort of social justice utopia. What is there, like 1,000 people on the entire continent between a bajillion square miles of land, but it's over and over again being set up as this sort of utopia filled with resources, a shared rainbow coalition of countries and people types and colors and creeds and orientations and things. Anybody can accomplish anything in Antarctica. It's our last hope. And as the Earth warms, it'll be a wonderful place to spend the summers as well.
Yeah. So I just thought of something that could be a thing. It's
dangerous.
Yeah. I'm just looking at history and social engineering operations, and some that may disagree that it was a type of social engineering, but the 1940s, post-World War II, the rebirth of Israel being that, and all the Jews around the world being encouraged to travel back to their homeland. We identified that with Africa. We've theorized, or at least I've thrown out the theory that they're going to do a similar type of thing where they're going to rebuild Africa. There's going to be a big, kind of like a pilgrimage to the roots of the African-American people in America, go visit your homeland. We're developing it, whatever it may be. Could this be a type of setup to create Antarctica as sort of the trans gay wonderland, like the liberal super wonderland, where
it sure seems to be going that way, doesn't it?
It does. And it's like where all these people that are, marginalized in society because they're gay or they're trans or whatever can go there. They can have their own continent,
a refuge,
where they can party and do whatever in the ice or whatever thing, But I don't know. It just feels like every sort of group that's been highly politicized and become sort of the target or champions of progressive politics,
identity
politics, all seem to be
the victims. Yes,
remember, the victims of identity politics.
Yes. You get your victim points,
right?
And what do victims need? They need their own
space,
their own place where they can be themselves. And again, we're looking at a long play here.
Yes, this is a 1,000-foot view type of
this is the ideological colonization of Antarctica as a place that is open and welcoming to all the victims from around the world who need a place to go. Like it really is being set up as this utopia all the way, and not just because of the trans mountain climbers or the gay wedding or the the climate change religion, even when the scientists are saying it's not it, they're being used as a victim. They're even setting up, like, if Antarctica was a character in the story, Antarctica itself is a victim because of even though the scientists are like, no, the climate change really isn't doing anything down here, guys. And the news organizations are like, Antarctica is exploding because of climate change. CNN using it over and over and over, falsely claiming, never quoting, never giving a source for why, these ideas that Antarctica is falling apart because of climate change, because they can't get one, because all the scientists say that it's not happening. Yet, they are creating a victim out of Antarctica. And if you're going to create a victim, a land that is a victim, of climate change, then you need to populate it with the victims of, all the other hatred in the world, or at least the hatred we're led to believe is a, thing by the media, by the news media.
Yeah.
So it's a weird, big long-term play, it feels like. And a lot of this is conjecture, but the feeling, or not the feeling, the dots are there and they're connected and something is going on. And I think the victim utopia, the safe space, Antarctica, the safe space.
Have you
makes a lot of sense.
Anytime there's something like this or a theory like this, I like to just in my head see if there's any kind of major production media type of thing that would propagandize the idea. We have like Wakanda and that whole thing for Africa. And I was thinking, I'm like, is there something culturally that has any kind of connection to Antarctica, or maybe not directly Antarctica, but something like it? Have you ever heard of a smash hit Disney film?
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say that exact thing. I had never thought about it before, but the second you started talking about it, that's what came to my mind.
Have you seen Frozen 2?
No.
You should watch it. Because no, do it. Do it as part of your analysis of
my work.
Yes, do it for work, because I'm telling you now that the themes in the film, it's I got to refresh a little bit and organize my thoughts a little better. But
it's an old movie now.
Well, Frozen 2 has to do with entering the magical realm that's been kind of under
cold,
a curse.
Frozen magical realm?
No, not really. It gets restored as kind of like a cold magical realm. It's kind of like, and Elsa kind of takes her own place in the Enchanted Forest, and then Arendelle, where they're from, is occupied by her sister.
Racists, white supremacists.
No. Sure. No, there is obviously there's kind of a reparations theme to things and stuff. So yeah, there's a woke critique of colonialism type of thing going on in the film.
Right.
But this sort of magical Iceland that gets recreated based on a broken curse. I mean, the themes are there. The themes are definitely there when it comes to, and they're really big on memory being stored in water and ice. They bring that up in the movie, and they talk about the Olaf, who's the snowman character. He talks about he's dropping knowledge in the movie. Memory is stored on water and stuff like that. It's like, whoa, they're really tapping into some new agey type of ideas and just kind of plopping it into the plot. And so, just kind of, next time you watch it or something.
That's the Disney, it's the magical communication of Disney.
Been
working. I mean, and you consider Disney's, sort of MO, trying to instill the identity politics at a very young age. And if you, again, pull out, take a higher view, if Frozen indeed is the propaganda for the safe space that is to be Antarctica, to the ideologically woke. I mean, it's coming together, man. I don't know. I don't want to beat the dead horse too much, but it makes a lot of sense. It does
make a lot of sense. I could be mistaken. Maybe I need to look into this more. But I believe there is Elsa is like an icon in the gay community.
That makes sense to me. I don't know. I don't know. A quick Google could do that, but I'm a little bit afraid to do that on the show.
Vox.com. Why Elsa from Frozen is a queer icon and why Disney won't embrace that idea. There you go. This is from 2019, but
why Disney won't embrace that idea?
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like something they would want to. Yeah. Gonz. Madison Cawthorn is in Twitter trending again. I think we should end the show.
Okay.
But after this breaking news, after photographs obtained by Politico of Representative Madison Cawthorn appearing to wear lingerie circulate online.
Oh, no.
He responded by saying they were goofy vacation photos during a game on a cruise taken before he ran for Congress.
Okay.
Oh, I'm looking at him now. Yeah, it's obviously a goofy game on a cruise.
All right.
He's literally on a cruise ship. Yeah, that's not a great look for a congressperson, though. But also, you know what? The new generation, Gonz.
No,
Who am I? Who am I to say?
Here's my question.
This might make him into an LGBTQ icon.
I'm curious why these guys, these politicians, these people that, make it to the top of some kind of political ladder or whatever it may be, why are there always photos of them in some kind of compromising situation?
Because they're human beings, Gonz, okay? They're just humans like you and I. We've all been on a cruise and just somehow found ourselves on stage in lingerie just for a fun game. Come on. He's just like you and I.
That's your thing?
Too much?
Maybe. Hold on. I'm looking at this now. Okay, so here's the Politico article. I just want to pull it up for people.
Moving on. There's no other info to know about this. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. We're going to be back on Monday, which is the 25th of April. And I want to thank our producers for today's show, all three, with your time, your talent, or your treasure. There are so many members of the Canary Cry family who make this show possible 3 times a week. And if you're new to the show, we encourage you, just get involved. There's so many ways to get involved. You can start by going to CanaryCry.Party, join the Discord channel, join the CanaryCry.community social media network. There's all sorts of stuff. But remember, you can also produce the show with your treasure. And I want to thank, I'll let you know, the show is on the value for value model. If you get value, put some value back in. It's the only way that independent media is going to survive the coming onslaught after the now failure of CNN Plus, which came sooner than any of us expected. But the analysis shows that once they realize that they cannot outperform independent media, the only option is to destroy it. So there's going to be a target on the backs of all independent media producers. And the only way to keep it going is not through corporate support, not through advertising, not through turning you, dear listener, into some sort of commodity to be sold to advertising agencies. Nope. It simply must be done by the people. We, the producers, keep the show going, and it's the only way that it works. So thank you so much. If you want to produce the show, you can head on over to CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support. Put it on your resume.
That's right. Go to CanaryCryRadio.com/support. And I do want to thank our producers of this episode, keeping the show going. We really appreciate it. Again, it feels good to finally be kind of back on track as far as that goes after a pretty tough month for everybody. But I do want to thank our executive producer, happy birthday girl, executive producer Lacey F., who will be damed on Monday if we can get all the information. Thank you very much, Lacey F.
Thank you, Lacey F.
Of course, Sarah L., another executive producer.
Sarah L.
Executive producer Paul G.
Paul
G.
Congrats.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is Dame Sarah of the Shadows. Right. Yes,
her name is...
Also, thank you, Paul G.
Updated.
And thank you, Mark D. for the executive producerships. Thank you to the rest of the producers: Charles RS3, Christopher B, Logan C, more of Sir JC, Night of the Techno Squatch, Jackie U, Alex Protocol V2, Jonathan F, Sir Case of the Shield Knights, Sir Scott Knight of Truth, Runk Smash, Gale M, Veronica D, and Sir James Knighton, Servant of the Lion of Judah. And again, congrats to Sir Jacob Aurikbor and Dame Sarah of the Shadows for joining the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames. And there you go. Do it. There's a couple other producers. We have our producers who keep the show going with their time. The back end producers doing so much work for us. The unsung heroes, but we like to sing about them every episode, starting with our Clippies.
Clippy on those videos.
Thanks. Yes, they do the clips for the clip channel on YouTube and Odyssey. Search for Canary Cry Clips. Enjoy the clips. Share the clips. Post the clips. Emsworth, Faye Liverin, and Epsilon. Thank you so much for your hard work.
Thank you, Clippers.
this might not be the place to. I'll save it for next time. I will say, people are getting their supply drops. They're arriving. I'm seeing people in the chat. People are stoked. I'm getting emails about it. Everybody is so pumped up about the supply drop. I'm so excited. And I do want to repeat, I forgot to mention it. That we are running a promotion for the supply drop. One of the items in the supply drop is our CCNT multi-dimensional communications field guide,
I think I
which
got
is
it
an
here.
You got it there. Hold it up to the camera.
Yeah, here we go. Here it is.
Which is this very, very cool project. I mean, what it is, it's an ARG. It's an augmented reality game, not in this sort of technocratic VR headset sense, but it's a booklet. It's a booklet filled with cryptic messages from other dimensions, put together by Runk Smash. It includes art by Ali, and it's a whole game. It's really cool. It's modeled like a military field guide of sorts. And what's going to happen is, starting here soon, is going to you will start hearing strange cryptic clues being given on the show, and those are clues for the supply droppers as they play along in with their field guide there, their multi-dimensional communications field guide codex. They're looking for clues. They're deciphering the message. They are ultimately on a mission to you're going to need to get the booklet to find out. But it's going to be super fun. And we've decided to, because it's fun and everybody should be able to play along if they want. If you join the supply drop between now and the end of May, we will just send you this immediately. You won't have to wait. We'll just pop it right into the thing.
Wow.
You can start playing along. And there's going to be a whole sort of Canary Cry code breaker community secret club type of thing going on. And so if you're interested to play along at home, you'll start hearing these clues. But if you sign up soon, you'll get the booklet before the clues start coming out. And you just go to CanaryCry.Supply.com. I'm just excited. It's just so fun that there will be sort of it's kind of like a mix between a puzzle room and a code breaking game and a secret society thing and a multi-dimensional military thing. It's just so fun. So if you want to get involved, we will send one out as soon as we can. If you head on over to CanaryCry.Supply.com and sign up for the supply drop, you'll enjoy it. That's right. And in this supply, we'll do a whole breakdown on Monday, but this supply drop will be revealing some of the fun stuff and let you know what you can expect for next quarter's supply drop. We're already starting work on getting it ready. It's going to be even cooler. Okay, moving on. I do want to thank our timestampers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
That's right, timestampers. So much of what we do depends on their work. It's often hard to even imagine where we'd be without them, but I do want to thank the timestamper for Wednesday's show, which was Jade Bouncerson. Thank you very much, Jade.
Thank you, Jade.
Mm-hmm. And other than that, head on over to CanaryCry.Meetups.com.
Canary Cry Meetup.
We got meetups coming up. Meetups coming up, man. We got meetups tomorrow. There's meetups tomorrow. There's meetups everywhere, every time. And there's even more meetups coming. You really need to get in, go to a meetup, meet some people in your area who are listeners of the show. If for nothing else, just fellowshipping with people who you know are on the level, baby. You'll have so much to talk about. It'll be excellent. So go to CanaryCry.Meetups.com. Check it out. You got the Zoom meetup. You got the East Texas meetup on the 30th. Louisville, Kentucky. Happened earlier. Oh, that's what it... Oh, yeah. Okay. San Antonio, Texas is tomorrow. San Antonio, Texas meetup is tomorrow. So go show up. If you're anywhere within travel distance of San Antonio, Texas, you can get the info on CanaryCry.Meetups.com. Let's see. Do we know where it is? The contact info for the host is there. A little hard to read this thing.
at yahoo.com. BEMISDED at yahoo.com. And it's going to be
Can you read the
the
location?
Chapala, Jalisco. Or Jalisco. Yeah.
Come on, you're a
1902.
Californian, man. You got to know how Jalisco is pronounced.
Well, not everything is J's. Jalisco or yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense what you're saying. Chapala, Jalisco.
1902 McCullough Avenue.
San Antonio. Go there.
PM.
Go to the meetups. It's awesome. And if you don't see one near you, put one on yourself. It's super easy, attainable goal, and you will meet very special people that you will love forever. There you go. See you at the meetup.
This is fun.
Go leave ratings and reviews. I'm not going to say it. Listen to the uncle. Do what uncle says.
Ugly, horrible person. You must leave review on iTunes. And if you do not, you are ugly, horrible person. You bring shame to family. Ugly, horrible person.
Yeah, leave reviews on Apple Podcasts. Just do it now. Do it over the weekend. Don't stress me out, man. Just let's have a bunch of reviews ready for me on Monday so I don't have to think about it. You guys can have such an effect on my weekly stress if you just leave reviews. Social media us, the thing. Post about us on social media, grab some links from the Canary Cry Clips channel, whatever you do. Go ahead, mention the show, tweet about the show. Maybe you don't have a whole lot of followers, doesn't matter. It's all about those algos. The more the robots see that people are sharing our material and our name, the better. So go do that. I'll give you some shout outs if you do. Who am I going to shout out today? I don't know. Let me look at my notifications. Just working off of Twitter here. I need to log on to Instagram. Anyways, do it. I'll figure it out. Other than that, if you're an artist, a musician, a talented, creative person, whatever the case may be, create something for the show. It's an important part of the show. Create, man. Express the joy, the sorrows, the confusion that comes from living in a world that is ruled by sort of illusionary magicians who are looking for ways to trick us into whatever they want. Create art, create music, jingles, send it all into CanaryCry.Radio@gmail.com. We'll put it on the show. It's a big, important thing. So please do it. We always love it when new people do it too. So go. What happens next? I got lost in Instagram world.
You rant about how people should share the show.
Share the show. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Now's the time to let them know that things are not what they seem. They will appreciate it. You will grow closer. You will start training. You'll start doing MMA. You'll start eating better, losing weight, all from the fact that you shared the show together and listen to the show. You got things to talk about, but you don't need to do it the regular way. You'll, text it or send a link or tell them with your face into their face, and they say, okay. And then you say, pull out your phone, and they're like, what's a phone? And you're like, wait a second, you're not my mom. And they're like, yes, I am a human, mom. And you're like, I don't think so. My mom definitely knows what a phone is. And then suddenly you reach over, you see it's a latex mask, you rip off the mask, and oh no, it's not your mom, it's a penguin refugee from the great land of Antarctica. They've been put into exile because the penguins are not victim-y enough to live in Antarctica now, and so they've replaced our human loved ones in a bid to take over the formerly inhabited zones of the humans. But you're smarter, you're faster, and you can actually fly a little bit better than the penguins. But look close, because you see a glowing red bead in that little eye, and that's how you know that's not just any penguin, it's a Nephilim penguin. What are you going to do when the Nephilim penguin comes around? Well, there's lots of options, but if you're more of a pacifist like me, here's what you're going to do. You're going to say, hello, Mr. Nephilim Penguin. I don't know what you've done with my mother, but I have a very particular set of skills, which makes me a very dangerous man to a penguin like you. So before I return you to the dark abyss from which you came, I want you to listen to this podcast. And then you can put on Canary Cry News Talk, and suddenly, well, you're still going to slay that penguin. It'll be a slain penguin. But when the newsman comes around and asks you, what were the penguin's last words, the penguin screamed out in its final time in this realm, think outside the cave.
What? What's going on?
And if you need any other instructions, it's called rattling cages. And here's what you do. You walk right up to him, grab by the cage, and then you shake it, baby.
The world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gonz, any last words?
Yeah. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. And I'm just looking into this quote from the IMF director who just said, maybe we printed too much money without thinking of the unintended consequences.
No way.
Actual quote. Real clear.
Actual quote.
Real quote.
Wow. That's great.
And
put that link somewhere.
I'm
so
trying to find a thing. And she also said that we are already out of time. What does that mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's happening. The time has come when the
IMF director?
When the IMF director is admitting that the conspiracy theorists were right all along, it is too late, folks. So there's only one thing you can do about it, and that's tune in next time to Canary Cry News Talk. And until then, more importantly, think outside the cage.
People do. This is the way. Give me a break.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
Fun fact, I believe it was another fun fact. Fun fact. Another fun fact.
Brings me back to my Screamo days.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
Fun
Humans will be confined in a people's zoo.
I'll keep you safe and warm in my people's zoo. I'll keep you safe and warm now in my people's zoo.
Science is truth.
You, yeah, you in my people's zoo.
Vaccines.
I'll keep the cameras on in my people's zoo. I'll keep the cameras on now in my people's zoo. You, yeah, you in my people's zoo.
I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world.
Was a bad dude.
I'll make you fat and sassy in my people's zoo.
We're all gonna die.
I'll make you fat and sassy in my people's zoo.
Give me a break.
You, yeah, you. You, yeah, you. You, yeah, you. In my people's zoo.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.